would turn on us?
What are you doing? Run, everyone! Run!
Please wait!
Now surrender. Don't you ever talk to me again! You fiend!
No! You're a monster!
So that is how you really feel.
Are you threatening me?
You expect me to believe one woman did all of that?
You're abandoning us.
Of course we should revive him, you coward!
I can end the threat you pose to Fereldan.
Hello there, I'm a psychopath. That means not only do I seek the thrill of exterminating vermin like races of people and species through slow, painful genocide experiments, I also enjoy eating microwaved McDonald's a day later. And the thing about being a psychopath is that everyone assumes you'll look the part. And you know what? That is such a stereotype. That is incredibly accurate. Very accurate. But hey, at least I have a normal name. And of course, my life is rather posh, because as an elf, we are treated with high esteem and—
The elves lived as slaves to humans, and though they've been free for many generations now, they are far from equals. Here they live in a walled-off community known as the alienage.
And here I lived with my annoying family. Luckily, Mom's dead, so I don't have to deal with that much anymore, but the most annoying is definitely—
Wake up, cousin. Why are you still in bed? It's your big day.
Surely this pathetic she-elf had nothing productive to say, and I was right.
You do remember what today is, don't you?
Is it get drunk all day day?
No, you idiot. You're getting married today. Your groom, Nelaros. He's here early.
I hate everyone, and marriage is a human scam to tax elves for procreation.
And who else are you going to marry? Besides, I already snuck a peek. He's handsome.
I hated my life.
Too bad.
Unfortunately, for everyone in this world, I was going to ruin everyone's lives now for making me get married. So I tried to run away, but my father caught me.
Ah, my little girl. Oh, I wish your mother could have been here.
I told him this was absolute bullcrap and that Mother's death justified me killing everyone today.
I understand.
And with that, I left my shack of a house, kicked a local cat, and found my idiot cousin who was also being forced to get married.
Apparently your groom's a dream come true. My bride sounds like a dying mouse.
I mean, that just made it all the easier to commit to the accident.
That's terrible.
Then, to brighten this pathetic day, I went and found a homeless man.
Alms, spare a coin for a man who was ruined trying to help his family.
Just to tell him to crawl into a hole and die.
That's cruel, cousin.
But on my way back to the wedding, the fleshy tall ones were causing a scene.
Let go of me!
It's a party, isn't it? Grab a whore and have a good time.
His laugh was stupid and his face was incredibly killable.
Savor the hunt, boys.
Touch me and I'll gut you, you pig!
Please, my lord. We're celebrating weddings here.
But then he actually
Silence,
did something
worm.
respectable.
I know what you're thinking, but maybe we shouldn't get involved.
Oh, I was getting involved. Whoever this guy was would either be my dog or die trying.
Fine. But let's try to be diplomatic, shall we?
What's this? Another lovely one come to keep me company.
I am going to piss down your decapitated throat while singing Wonderwall.
Ha! Do you have any idea who I am?
Someone with about 4 hours left. Sadly, I didn't get my chance yet because cousin she-elf decided to start the party
This
early.
is Valonorian, the Earl of Denerim's son.
Oh yeah, wonderful.
Maker.
Oh, and you guys are nothing. Your deaths will be without thought.
You've a lot of nerve, knife ears.
Well, let's not let this ruin the day. This is Valora, my betrothed.
And who might this giant sack of crap wearing a Dollar Tree wig be?
By the Maker! I can't believe you sometimes. Yes, this is Nelaros, your betrothed.
Do I really make such a poor first impression?
I mean, I already assumed you were dirt poor, you filthy late 2000s American Idol reject.
This is my bride-to-be? Your father never said you were so...
Say it.
so...
Say it.
Come on, cousin.
What?
We should let them get ready. Another human just walked in. Could be one of Vaughn's or just a random troublemaker.
Oh yeah, definitely human. We could kill him.
You really scare me sometimes.
I was serious. Humans are trash.
You're insane. Let's just try to handle this without everyone getting killed.
No, that's exactly what I wanted to do. So I immediately ran up to the candied human.
Good day. I understand congratulations are in order for your impending wedding.
How about we start talking about your impending beating?
Are you threatening me?
That's not what my friend meant to say. It just might be easier for everyone if you moved along.
Saurus, you shut your fat mouth when I'm threatening people.
Thank you, Saurus. But I want to hear what she has to say.
All right, bend over, human.
Surely it does not escape your notice that I am both armed and armored. Any fight between us would be rather one-sided.
You're gonna be one-sided when I'm done with you.
Try not to die. I'll run for help.
No need. I'm not here to fight you.
It is good to see you again, my old friend.
Please, do not let me interrupt further.
What an absolute waste of my time. All that talk and not a drop of blood. Well, regardless, it was time to join my cow of a breedable specimen at the wedding.
I was afraid you'd run off.
No, I'm here. With Nellaros's blushing bride in tow.
I'm not blushing. I got a rash from looking at you.
You look radiant.
Shut your lying half-wit, reverse double-chin face when you talk.
Looks like everyone's ready.
Yeah, forced to be. Let's get this over with.
Friends and family, today we celebrate not only this joining.
In the name of the
And of course, I was forced to hear this whole spiel about who knows what. Luckily, some humans came and destroyed a loser on their way.
Sorry to interrupt, Mother, but I'm having a party, and we're dreadfully short of female guests.
My lord, this is a wedding.
But don't pretend this is a proper wedding. We're here for a good time, aren't we, boys?
Well, things were definitely taking a turn for the other direction, and got even more when this buffoon shared his laugh with the crowd.
Let's take those two, the one in the tight dress, and where's the that bottled me?
Over here, Lord Vaughn!
Let me go, you stuffed shirt son of a...
Don't worry. I won't let them take you.
You idiot! I'm letting them take you!
Ah, yes. Such a well-formed little thing.
You villains!
Oh, that's quite enough.
Look at me. I am going to kill you.
Oh, this one has spirit. Fun.
That slap hit about as hard as a pillow, but if I wanted to take advantage of this situation, I had to fake it. They dragged me to the prison castle, which was the perfect place to slaughter humans without getting caught.
Stop it. You're driving me insane. Oh, thank the Maker you've come to. We were so worried.
We were going to kill everyone.
Glad you've still got some fight in you.
We're 5 unarmed women. What makes you think we can kill anyone? Look, we'll do what they want. Go home and try to forget this ever happened. It'll be worse if we resist.
It'll be worse if we don't.
Someone's coming.
Of course, the guard showed up a bit early.
Hello, wenches.
And this absolute tool decided to execute Plan Execute without me and got what she deserved.
You killed her.
Horace and I'll take the homely bride and the drunk.
Be a good little wench or you'll end up like your friend there.
I threatened to cut off every part of their body, but they didn't think I was serious.
Horace was right, she's a
That was until my cousin burst through the door somehow and tossed me a sword.
Oh, sod.
I hacked at the humans with a sword so dull it could be mistaken as a butter knife. But the harder I hit, the more the humans' bones broke, the happier I became.
I can't believe they killed her.
Of course, my sympathetic cousin was sad over some loser who couldn't pass the skill check, so I told him to suck it up.
Nellaros is guarding the end of the hall. Let's figure this out with him.
I looted up as much food as I could for the ride and burst into the mess hall, approached by some cans of sardines.
Where did you get a weapon, elf?
Of course, I told them that they'd all die a horrible death.
You insane?
You maggots are gonna die slowly.
And then that's exactly what I gave them. Cousin and I slaughtered our way through the barely trained guards, drenched in blood and sweat, mostly theirs. It reminded me of the fact that, did you know that horses can occasionally have a 19th rib on either side of their body? Of course, I wandered into the wrong door to witness what I can only describe as some kind of stick bug being executed.
I told you there'd be more. Elves run in packs, like rodents.
Should we keep the knife-eared bitch alive?
They killed our boys. She dies.
Oh, I was going to enjoy the senseless slaughterfest about to ensue.
Stupid wench.
And although I expected more of a fight from someone instigating a fight, all I got was a couple of guys who played Wii Sports Resort fencing for a couple hours. Truly embarrassing. But after the fight was lazily over, we approached that pathetic dead loser, whoever it was.
Nellaros. I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah, I forgot I married him.
But never mind. Let's go.
And with that happy thought in mind, we departed. The castle was filled to the brim with all these absolutely mediocre slapped-together guards who couldn't kill the barn side of a broad door if it hit them, and they're almost always near perfectly geometric spaces. I also made sure to kill all the dogs here too, so I wasn't discriminating. They're all the same value to me. Expendable. We murdered and butchered and looted our way through the castle. I had completely forgotten how we even got in this situation in the first place. That was until...
My, What have we here?
Don't worry. We'll make short work of these two.
Quiet, you idiot! They're covered with enough blood to fill a tub. What do you think that means?
It means you're gonna be my bath bomb.
All right. Let's not be too hasty here. Surely we can talk this over.
Nah, you're dead now.
Ha! I always regret talking to knife ears. Now I'll just gut your ignorant carcasses instead.
That was a lot of talk from some random human who wanted to die, and so I obliged. First, I murdered his garbage acquaintances who could barely lift a sword, and eventually turned my attention to him. Whereas I dramatically fought over my cousin laying on the ground crying and sprayed her with his blood like she was on some kind of amusement water park ride. Oh, how she was traumatized. Finally, he keeled over. Hilariously enough, he tried to get back up, but I was tired of these trivial human games he was playing, so I quickly gutted him, staring so deep into his eyes that he would have feared for his soul. After the reception party was over...
He's dead. Tell me we did the right thing, cousin.
I made my cousin second-guess himself.
I'm not regretting it.
Looted up the place, totally forgetting my other cousin was there. And finally...
So much blood.
Yep.
I can't stand to look at it. It's
I can.
everywhere. You killed them, didn't you? You killed them all?
Like dogs, cousin. And the dogs like people, cousin.
Good.
I can't believe you came for us. Thank you.
We should go. Soon. As in now.
And with that, we left the castle. Of course, this only elevated the matter for the humans.
Has Shiani been hurt? Where is Tormi's daughter, Nola?
Nola didn't make it. She resisted.
They killed her.
Nelaros, too.
Such a dramatic species.
I see. Now tell me, what happened?
Glorious battle, father!
And the Arl's son, does he live?
Oh, that was the Arl's son?
Maker preserve us all.
Then the garrison could already be on their way.
Don't worry, we'll just kill everyone.
Do so and you will put us all in danger.
The guards are here!
And naturally, the humans veered their ugly heads into our alienage.
The elf's son lies dead in a river of blood that runs through the entire palace. I need names, and I need them now.
Yeah, that was me. You got me.
You expect me to believe one woman did all of that?
We are not all so helpless.
This elf will wait in the dungeons until the Arl returns.
I was ready to be taken back to fight more, but the sad excuse for a living being decided to speak up.
I hereby invoke the Grey Warden's right of conscription. I remove this woman into my custody.
This meant I could live another day to kill more people in other areas of the world.
I cannot challenge your rights, but I'll ask one thing. Get this elf out of the city.
And how about you get the elf out of my life?
Agreed.
How about that, huh?
You're with me now. Say your goodbyes. Your life here is over.
He said that like I cared enough about anyone here to say goodbye, so I just left.
Then we leave for Ostagar immediately. We will be traveling south through the hinterlands to the ruin of Ostagar, on the edges of the Korcari Wilds. It's fitting we make our stand here, even if we face a different foe within that forest.
We made our way to some ancient ruins that these sad excuse for monster hunters consider a good base of operations, but unfortunately I couldn't get away in my current situation.
Ho there, Duncan.
What did you just call me?
King Caleb.
The other wardens told me you'd found a promising recruit. I take it this is she? Might I know your name?
I met some idiot's son, so I told him he was an idiot.
You've got yourself a lively one, Duncan. I see you're an elf, friend. From where do you hail?
From one of your slave encampments.
Tell me, how is it there? My guards all but forbid me going there.
Well, I murdered the Arl's son.
You... what?
You are pathetic and I hate you.
I remind you that you speak to the king of Fereldan. I know there is an archdemon behind this, but I cannot ask the king to act solely on my feeling.
Everyone was having second opinions on the king, so I told this freak the king is an emotionally unstable pansy.
You must not speak of the king so. He is overeager. To that end, we should proceed with the joining ritual without delay.
Well, with the pointless introductions out of the way, my new life had begun. Although right now I was just some elf, my name would be feared throughout the lands.
Hail, you must be the Grey Warden.
Shut up, I wasn't talking to you. My first order of business was going to meet with another human. Honestly, they all look the same to an elf, so I'm sure he wasn't plot essential to my life.
I suppose you have a message for him.
Turns out this was the king's uncle.
Yes, what is it? Oh, you're Duncan's new Grey Warden, I assume. Are you aware his father brought your order back to Fereldan?
And in fact, this guy sounded like he didn't have too much faith in his nephew.
Wardens are impressive, but not as relevant as Kalen thinks. Pray that our king proves amenable to wisdom, if you're the praying sort.
I could tell this guy had good intentions.
He is Marik's son, and the leader of my beloved Fereldan, and a very young man. I try to keep that in mind, as should you.
I also visited some sort of dog trainer.
This isn't good. I hate to waste such a promising member of the breed. Are you the new warden? I could use some help.
Why would I help you?
This beast is in the king's service, just like you and I.
You and your stupid dog sound like a waste of oxygen.
Let me know if you change your mind.
So I stared at the dog for 2 seconds and then left. I met some random mage guy, but honestly, I didn't hear a word he said to me, because I was far too distracted with the dude fighting for his life in the background. So I told him he reeked and left.
Goodbye.
I explored the area for a bit, went and laughed at the sick and injured.
You may not want to remain here long, Warden.
Someone! The Darkspawn are coming.
And then gaslit this guy into thinking he was insane.
I'm not mad, I saw them.
Finally, after exploring everything, I'm sure, I bumped into him.
What is it now?
Here I thought we were getting along so well. I was even going to name one of my children after you. The Grumpy One.
Get out of my way, fool.
I would willingly let that mage die eventually.
No. One good thing about the Blight is how it brings people together.
Then I met some kind of sick joke two morons decided to conceive.
Wait, we haven't met, have we? I don't suppose you happen to be another mage.
If I was a mage, would you hate me?
Hardly. I just like to know my chances of being turned into a toad at any given moment.
Then I pulled the gender card.
Yes, sir.
Told him I'd rather die than join in a party with him.
Don't worry. I'll try not to embarrass you.
And that I wanted to get out of there.
Lead on.
Unfortunately, he followed me around like some kind of lapdog, so I brought him to the dog kennels to try to put him in there, but he was just smart enough to not fall for that one. Then I was forced to meet two of my inferiors.
You found Alistair, did you? Good. I'll assume you're ready to begin preparations.
This is Sajori, and this here is Daveth, a fellow from Denerim.
Charmed, milady.
I wasn't about to tell them anything.
Yes, let us begin. You four will be heading into the Korcari Wilds to perform 2 tasks. The first is to obtain 3 vials of Darkspawn blood. It has recently come to our attention that some scrolls have been left behind. Alistair, I want you to retrieve these scrolls if you can.
So with that, I was forced to travel with 3 obnoxious human beings into a forest where I could definitely kill them and no one would ever know. We slaughtered some gophers or something that thought they'd stand right at the entrance to the castle ruins, and then came across some kind of guy. He was so pathetic and small.
Who is that? Grey Wardens?
Well, he's not half as dead as he looks, is he?
And I told him we didn't have any time for the likes of him.
We don't have time? What, you have an urgent meeting somewhere?
Just for that comment ale store, he dies. This was on him, not me. I had to do this. I wanted to do this.
Does the word insane mean anything to you?
Clinically or hypothetically?
Remind me not to get injured anywhere near you.
And with that, we ventured into the forest on a fetch quest for people I did not care about. Finally, some weird turtle-looking humans appeared, and they were decent at fighting, unlike everyone else so far. Made gutting them all the more satisfying. We then came across a flower so rare it had the power to save that dying dog.
That flower? The kennel master said this flower can help dogs that get sick from biting darkspawn. Might want to think about it is all.
I took it, but then I accidentally ate it myself. Well, anyways, we marched forward through the absolute dump of a swamp until we arrived at, I guess, one of those things the Wardens wanted me to get. I wasn't really listening. But then...
Well, well. What have we here?
Swamp Woman!
Are you a vulture, I wonder? A scavenger, poking amidst a corpse whose bones were long since cleaned, come into these darkspawn-filled wilds of mine in search of easy prey.
She's a witch of the wilds, she is. She'll turn us into toads.
Witch of the Wilds.
She sounded confident, like a retail worker on their last 20 minutes of shift.
Women do not frighten like little boys. Tell me your name and I shall tell you mine.
And she could forget it. Who was she to me?
Very well. Preserve your mystery if you desire. You may call me Morrigan.
You're some kind of sneaky witch thief.
How very eloquent.
Boring, don't care, get on with it.
'Twas my mother, in fact.
Okay, then let me kill your mom.
She'll put us all in the pot, she will. Just you watch.
Follow me then, if it pleases you.
I decided to follow her blindly into the swamp because I had nothing better going on that day. And we came across none other than an old hag.
Mother. I bring before you 4 Grey Wardens who...
I see them, girl. And what of you? Does your elven mind give you a different viewpoint? What do you believe?
I think you're a lunatic and I want to kill you.
Is that all? So much about you is uncertain, and yet I believe. They came for their treaties, yes? Take them to your Grey Wardens and tell them this Blight's threat is greater than they realize.
Well, with the fetch quest items intact and my crew sadly all still alive, we returned for our ritual.
With the blood you've retrieved, we can begin the joining immediately.
And what if I don't wanna?
Let me be very clear on that point. You were chosen because you are needed. There is no turning back now. Fate may decree that you pay your price now, rather than later.
Well, apparently the ritual had the chance to kill us. Things were finally starting to look up around here.
You would not have been chosen, however, if I did not think you had a chance to survive.
Let's go then. I'm anxious to see this joining now.
And with that, we left for the ritual. I called the humans cowards at my earliest convenience.
I only know that my wife is in Highover with a child on the way. If they had warned me,
Would you have come if they'd warned you? Maybe that's why they don't.
I also told them to shut up.
Yes, Sir Knight. Try not to wet your trousers until the ritual starts.
The Grey Wardens were founded during the First Blight, when humanity stood on the verge of annihilation. So it was that the first Grey Wardens drank of Darkspawn blood.
We're going to drink the blood of those...
I learned here that we got to drink demon blood.
As the first Grey Wardens did before us, as we did before you.
I'm down to try new things.
This is the source of our power.
They were taking forever to get through this ceremony.
We speak only a few words prior to the joining.
Join us in the shadows where we stand vigilant. Join us as we carry the duty that cannot be forsworn. Know that your sacrifice will not be forgotten.
Davith.
Finally, after Ale Guy said a bunch of words I can't remember, Mr. Ponytail got to drink first. But then I remembered that I actually used that cup earlier for holding bleach to clean my head. But you know what? I'm sure it wouldn't.
Make his breath.
All right.
I am sorry, Davith.
Now, of course, the second guy panicked, all like, oh, but what about my family, my wife and children?
I have a wife. A child. Had I known.
What a loser.
You ask too much. There is no glory in this.
So much of a loser, in fact, that he'd rather die 100% instead of the possibility of 50% die.
I am sorry.
Honestly, I was jealous that they didn't let me do the honors.
You were called upon to submit yourself to...
But now, well, it was finally my turn to drink from the cup, and let me tell you, that bleached demon blood, that'll get you reaching for an anvil in the morning.
You are a Grey Warden.
Unfortunately, it gave me beautiful dreams of the perfect world. I thought it was supposed to be terrifying.
It is finished. Welcome.
2 more deaths. In my joining, only one of us died.
Nobody cares about your joining. Hey, you got any more of that juice?
Before I forget, there is one last part to your joining. We take some of that blood and put it in a pendant. Something to remind us of those who didn't make it.
Why the heck would I want to wear something that reminds me of 2 absolute weaklings that I already forgot existed? And with that, my wardening was over, and I ran to the nearest 7-Eleven
Hello again.
to buy and sell as much garbage as I could possibly carry. After I was armed to the teeth, I decided to start a war on the Blight by pure pressuring the Wardens to go right now.
Loghain, my decision is final. I will stand by the Grey Wardens in this assault.
The Darkspawn Horde is too dangerous for you to be playing hero on the front lines.
Then our current forces will have to suffice, won't they? Duncan, are your men ready for battle?
They are, Your Majesty.
Your fascination with glory and legends will be your undoing, Kalen. You will alert the tower to light the beacon, signaling my men to charge from cover.
To flank the Darkspawn, I remember. This is the Tower of Ishal in the ruins, yes? Well, who shall light this beacon?
I have a few men stationed there. It's not a dangerous task, but it is vital.
Send Alistair and the new Grey Warden to make sure it's done.
And of course, they were going to send me to do more pathetic fetch quests during war.
We need the beacon. Without it, Loghain's men won't know when to charge.
You see? Glory for everyone.
Enough. This plan will suffice. The Grey Wardens will light the beacon.
I cannot wait for that glorious moment. The Grey Wardens battle beside the King of Fereldan to stem the tide of evil.
Yes, Kalen. A glorious moment for us all.
Well, it turns out I didn't have a choice. I was a simple torch-bearer jockey.
You and Alistair will go to the Tower of Ishal and ensure the beacon is lit.
So he needs 2 Grey Wardens standing up there holding the torch, just in case, right?
And to make matters worse, I had to partner up with Eli Stair to do a simple job.
That is not your choice. We must do whatever it takes to destroy the Darkspawn.
I also suggested this buffoon wear a dress to battle.
Me shimmying down the Darkspawn line? Sure. Duncan.
But regardless of my arguments, we were doomed to torch duty.
May he watch over us all.
It was time for war, and to prepare for battle, I ran around aimlessly for a couple minutes, found out that the dog died because I accidentally ate the flower myself, and headed off to torch duty. It was sad, because as we began our walk over the massive bridge to the torch tower, we looked down upon the battlefield to see thousands of pathetic simpletons about to die by the hands of everybody but me.
The plan will work, Your Majesty.
Of course it will. The Blight ends here.
The cowardice of the humans filled me with such confidence. I watched for but a moment as the turtle tears charged the humans into the cold, dead rain of this night, and marveled in joy at the thought of what this place would look like afterwards. And then, of course, there was Aelstar and I, stuck on the top of the battle, barely getting soaked in any blood, just sad, honestly. We made our way daintily across the bridge in no rush, and I made sure to get hit by a meteor or something just to feel some thrill of the fight. Funny enough, no one else lived, and the battle was beautiful to watch. Of course, on the way to light the tower torch, we were approached by some pansy who let the place get ransacked by turtles.
The tower, it's been taken.
What are you talking about, man? Taken how?
The Darkspawn came up through the lower chambers. They're everywhere. Most of our men are dead.
Fueled by his incompetence, I rushed to the tower, oil stained by my side, and we senselessly slaughtered our way up the staircase of the tower. It wasn't even a challenge. It was more like the drinking of a Gatorade before a soccer game. We made our way into the tower and were joined by some absolute nerds with sticks for weapons. I had zero faith in their ability, so I rushed in head first. Taking this tower was going to be a cakewalk. At least for me, not Eelstair over there, who died immediately on purpose just to piss me off. Regardless, I took a second to stop the bloodshed and insult Eli Sphere.
What are these Darkspawn doing ahead of the rest of the Horde? There wasn't supposed to be any resistance here.
I told him his opinions were stupid and ridiculous.
Right, because clearly this is all just a misunderstanding.
Anyways, we got back to a couple more minutes of slaughter, absolutely decimating every garbage turtle in this tower, until we arrived at a big door. And behind this door was none other than Thanos from the Marvel. I don't know how they got the rights to get him in here, but there he was, eating humans. Now, regardless of him not doing anything wrong in my eyes, my team decided to attack, so I figured, well, why not just kill everything all the time? So that's exactly what we did. But of course, within like 15 milliseconds, Alistar's died on purpose just to throw us all off. But to be honest, after he fell, things got a lot easier and we pretty much killed everything instantly. We then lit a cabin-sized fireplace, which burned brighter than every OnlyFans creator combined.
Sound the retreat.
But what about the king? Should we not?
Do as I command.
Hilariously enough, the king's uncle decided that the battle just wasn't worth his time anymore, so he just kinda up and left. Respect, honestly, dude can make up his mind. What's even more funny was now the Wardens and regular people didn't have a chance. They were just getting absolutely slaughtered out there. Just a bloodbath, to be honest. The king even got squished like a toddler holding a sponge. He just kind of chucked him. Naturally, this ticked off Mr. John Warden himself, who threw himself at the beast just to end up realizing that Uncle Guy abandoned them and eventually got bonked to death. But unfortunately, it wasn't just all fun and games, and the turtles seized the tower again and shot me like 100 times. Luckily, I already do acupuncture. It put me right into the deepest of sleeps. When I finally woke up, I was in that ugly witch's hut.
Ah, your eyes finally open. Mother shall be pleased.
I just want to get out of here.
As you like.
And that's exactly what I did. I grabbed my crap and got out of there right away, only to find...
Here is your fellow Grey Warden. You worry too much, young man.
I thought you were dead for sure.
Afraid to be all alone again like the rest of your life?
Duncan's dead. The Grey Wardens. Even the king.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it great?
Dead.
I know a bit of magic, and it has served you both well, has it not?
Well, unfortunately, there were still a lot of people left unkilled, so I knew what I was gonna do today.
We need to bring Loghain to judgment.
Perhaps he does not see that the evil behind it is the true threat.
The Archdemon.
Alright, kill the Archdemon, then break for Denerim.
By ourselves? No Grey Warden has ever defeated a Blight without the army of a half-dozen nations at his back.
Have the Wardens no allies these days?
I don't know.
Fine, we'll assemble an army.
Of course! Grey Wardens can demand aid from dwarves, elves, mages, and other places. They're obligated to help us during a blight.
I may be old.
Yeah, you old hag, we're leaving.
Such a tone to take with your rescuer. The Grey Wardens are leaving shortly, girl. And you will be joining them.
Such a shame. What?
Why would I want to take that?
Her magic will be useful. Even better, she knows the wilds and how to get past the Horde.
She'd better be useful.
Oh, she is.
This is not how I wanted this. I'm not even ready.
You must be ready. Alone, these two must unite Fereldan against the Darkspawn. Without you, they will surely fail, and all will perish under the Blight. I give you that which I value above all in this world. I do this because you must succeed.
I don't need her help.
Let her guide you out of the wilds. If you truly do not desire her help after that, simply tell her so.
Allow me to get my things, if you please.
As if babysitting one wasn't already more than enough.
I am at your disposal, Grey Wardens.
Shut up, I didn't ask for your lousy swamp dweller advice.
Farewell, Mother.
Do try to have fun, dear.
And with that, I now had an unfortunate party of two, and we ditched this garbage pile she called a home. Now, of course, back in the main city, Uncle Guy was rousing everyone to join his little parade of usurpers.
And I expect each of you to supply these men. We must rebuild what was lost at Ostagar, and quickly, and without hesitation.
Your lordship, if I might speak. Your withdrawal was most fortuitous.
I have not shirked my duty to the throne, and neither will any of you.
Your Majesty, your father risks civil war. If Eamon were here...
And if he wouldn't achieve civil war, I would. Well, within 5 seconds of us being on our new adventure, we were ambushed by some local ruffians on a bridge.
Wake up, gentlemen. More travelers to attend to. Led by an elf, of all things.
They don't look much like them others. Maybe we should just let these ones pass.
Nonsense. Greetings, travelers.
They are fools to get in our way. I say, teach them a lesson.
A simple 10 silvers, and you're free to move on.
Yes, they are fools, and regardless of their occupation, I was going to kill them anyways.
Well, I can't say I'm pleased to hear that.
I tried to use the Warden card on them, but it turns out all they wanted was to die anyways.
Well, this is going nowhere.
So instead of being
Let's
merciful,
this,
I
gents.
decided to be slaughterful. Without hesitation, we ripped and tore through these absolutely pathetic leeches, barely having to lift a finger to do any actual work. Eventually, they decided to just give up,
right.
which was really cute.
Surrender. We're just trying to get by before the Darkspawn get us all.
You're worried about the Darkspawn?
We should have been more careful. I'm sorry.
Sorry is a board game. What you should have said is, I'm dead.
I'm not going down without a fight.
And so we butchered the rest of them like animals. In fact, the witch lady butchered them like an animal because she turned into a giant spider. Oh yeah, and Eggstare died again. On purpose! With those bandits spread out like butter on the highway, we marched onwards to town. This town was definitely a dump of no importance, and the guards equal in worth.
If you're looking for safe shelter, I'll warn you, there's none to be found.
I told them I'd do what I want.
I'm just giving you fair warning.
And then I demanded him out of my way.
I'll not turn you away. We just ask that you don't bring more problems here.
Problems? Man, bunch of paranoid freaks living here. So I immediately found a local merchant who was swindling some of the folks, and I figured,
You profit from their misfortune.
hey, why not just kill this guy?
What are you doing? Run, everyone! Run!
And with that, I stole all of his stuff and headed downtown, bumping into a pair of poor sloths.
Mother says we have...
Greetings to you, milady. Might you be able to spare some bread?
Who I told to screw off the second I could.
We are not beggars. We were robbed.
And then I found a lost child.
Where are you? Have you seen my mother?
Who I abandoned faster than her mother did.
Nobody will help me find her.
And went straight to the local tavern to not cause any...
Well, look what we have here, men.
Men? I don't see any men. Just a bunch of corpses.
Low gains, men. This can't be good.
Didn't we spend all morning asking about an elf by this very description, and everyone said they hadn't seen one?
It seems we were lied to.
Gentlemen, surely there's no need for trouble.
No trouble? Speak for yourself.
Right. Let's make this quick.
And by quick, they didn't realize I was going to bleed them all like stuck pigs. And so, once again, we beat the ever-living tar out of a bunch of fools until they meagerly surrendered.
All right, you've won. We surrender.
Good. They've learned their lesson and we can all stop fighting now.
But once again, I wasn't offering that option.
Please wait!
They have surrendered. They were no match for you. Let them be.
Did I stutter? And so we fired up the old swords and magic once again to utterly obliterate these weak-willed, clearly undertrained bar bouncers who could barely hold their weapons. We chased them right into the kitchen, and rightly so, chopped them all up into fine mincemeat.
I apologize for interfering, but I couldn't just sit by and not help.
Yeah, well, no one asked nor cares about you.
Are we getting a move on? Good plan. Where will we be heading then?
I am not bringing the likes of you along.
Well, that can be quickly remedied. Let me introduce myself. I am Lily.
Don't care. What do you want, charity?
I know after what happened, you will need all the help you can get. That's why I'm coming along.
I tried to lie to her, but she was used to being lied to, I suppose.
But, oh, I see.
I then told her I hated her.
Oh, I thought you might say that.
That I didn't care about her at all.
I know you may not believe, but I had a dream. A vision.
But in the end, I figured one more pincushion body shield never hurt. Me at least.
Perhaps your skull was cracked worse than Mother thought.
Thank you.
So with that, we made our way out of town, and literally within a minute, we found a guy with no face hanging in a prison cage.
Mara Shokra, you aren't one of my captors.
She called him a savage from the far north.
I have nothing to say that would amuse you, elf. Leave me in peace.
He wanted nothing more than to die.
If only I were so lucky.
So instead, I just left him there. Naturally, word spread around town about me potentially murdering most of the town, and we were stopped by a gang of absolute heathens wanting to collect the bounty.
I don't know what was said, but that bounty on your head could feed a lot of hungry bellies.
Well, the only thing being collected today was their families picking up their life insurance. And truth be told, it wasn't that they were putting up even remotely anything of a fight. They just sent so many peasants to come and die. So it was like squishing ants when you accidentally left out sugar overnight. According to my calculations, we had murdered probably 80% of the men in this town, widowing and orphaning a healthy amount of wives and children. So anyways, we collected their loot and went back to town. I came across an absolutely insane person trying to convince everyone here that there was some sort of great evil coming.
The legions of evil are on your doorstep. This woman bears their evil stench. Can't you not see the vile blackness that fills her?
But I was here to make sure no one knew of my intentions, so I shut him up.
No! Do not touch me! You bring evil and destruction!
He was right, wasn't he? There's no hope for us.
Then an idiot actually bought this guy's act and he decided to freak out.
Tell us what to do.
So I convinced him to give me everything he has and he'll be spared.
You could spare us. It's worth a try.
Evil shall descend upon us!
And with that, we equipped a bunch of the stuff he gave us and finally ditched that worthless town. On our way out, we bumped into some incompetent schmoozers being ransacked by a bunch of turtle tears. And if they weren't blocking my path too, I would have just left them.
Mighty timely arrival there, my friend.
I told him right away that I couldn't care less about them, and we left for camp, where the two dwarves stalked us there and then disgustingly offered us their garbage services.
It's good to see you, my timely rescuer.
Hey, you know what? As long as I got free stuff, they could stay.
Wonderful. Thank the kind lady, won't you, boy?
Thank you, kind lady.
And with that, we made our way to another alleged dump called Redcliffe.
Look, can we talk for a moment? I need to tell you something. I should probably have told you earlier.
Let me guess, you're an idiot.
Yes, that's right. I stopped you to tell you that I'm an idiot. Whew!
Thank the Maker you know already. Now I can stop worrying I'll be found out.
No, it wasn't exactly a secret.
Oh ho ho. I'm trying to be serious here. Just listen. I'm a bastard. My mother was a serving girl at Redcliffe Castle, and she died when I was born. Our Leman took me in and raised me before I was sent to the Chantry.
Well, this was unexpectedly stupid to have to listen to.
Look, I said I'm sorry. I know I should have said something. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10.
Ah, quit your crying, you big baby.
I suppose you're right.
And so he finally shut up, and we could make our merry way to— Oh, come on, what is it now?
Down the road, though I scarcely believed it.
I don't have any time for you, fool.
I'm not stopping you or anything. Have you even heard what's happened here? Has anyone?
Literally no one cares.
Yes, I expect so. Monsters come out of the castle every night and attack us until dawn. Everyone's been fighting and dying.
Okay, and so what's the problem?
So many are dead. It's not far, if you'll come with me.
And so I was forced beyond my will to follow this absolute inferior down to what he called a home. And there I had to look at things such as poor people and eventually met Aleslayer's childhood babysitter.
It's Thomas, yes?
They just arrived, and I thought you would want to see them.
Well done, Thomas. Greetings, friends. My name is Tegan, Ban of Rainersphere, brother to the Ark. The attack started a few nights ago. Evil things surged from the castle.
That really sounds like a you issue.
Isn't it? You're a Grey Warden seeking Eamon's help. He simply needs your help first. What do you say?
I said stop pestering me, you old fool.
We're just going to abandon these people to their fate? Surely you don't mean that.
Surely I mean what I said, you friggin' stalker.
I see you're taking the Grey Warden reputation for ruthlessness to heart.
What a relief that you do not intend to mire us in this pitiful mess.
That's disappointing.
I'm sorry, my lord.
I suggest you leave the village, then. We have much to prepare for, and your presence would surely be a distraction.
So with that garbage out of the way, we made our rounds to go around and laugh at all the people affected by the big scary monsters.
Blessed art thou who exists in the Maker's sight. Blessed art thou who seeks his forgiveness.
Dear boy.
Blessed
Gone
art
on a
thou
long
who
trip.
seeks his return. Blessed is the prophetess, his daughter, sacrificed to the holy flame.
Ha! And made sure to tell off some chick who got in my way.
Am I bothering you? Stay out of your way, miss.
Everyone seemed quite dramatic in this village, and I just can't deal with that much drama right now in my life. So I made great haste to leave, unfortunately getting stopped by—
So that's it?
Yep.
You're not going to help us?
Deal with it.
So, you're abandoning us. I doubt we'll make it through the night. Please, we need your help.
And so I left them to deal with that problem on their own. Honestly, how bad could it be? Seriously. I mean, they've got guards all over the place. Just fight them. But of course, on a more serious note, we were ambushed by a bunch of turtles in the forest. And to make matters worse, guess who died again on purpose? And with that, we also stumbled upon a traveling merchant who needed our help.
You'll have to forgive me if I seem a bit nervous. Mule got spooked by a wisp and ran off into the woods. Now what do? I don't suppose you'd consider helping a fellow out?
So I offered him exactly 0% of our help.
No, but maybe you could make an exception. Of all the other things that went wrong, the worst is this artifact I brought in Jada. It's a control rod, I'm told, for a golem. No point in me keeping it, however, as I'll never get to use it.
And in fact, I was gonna take this control rod from him free of charge.
Just hold up the rod and say Dulaf Gar. Best of luck to you then. Now, I guess it's up to me to find that mule myself.
Yeah, it is, you inadequate dunce. So, with free loot and adventure in the air, we made our way to some sort of random village. A village that knew how to properly decorate, that is. But of course, the town was overrun with turtles. And so, as always, we slaughtered our way through the town until we reached a rock thing.
It looks like a golem, doesn't it?
Well, with the control rod in hand and the special phrase on my tongue, I commanded the brainless oaf alive. But alas, nothing. So instead, we just decided to break into someone's house. Well, turns out this was actually a home for darkspawn, so we violently dispatched each and every one of them viciously until not a one was left breathing. We looted them up, geared up, and proceeded further into the darkness of this wine cellar built specifically for alcoholics, and got into yet another fight. Within moments of it beginning, guess who died purposefully again? After clearing out the rest of them, we noticed a bunch of people behind a wall. So instead of helping them, we first stole all of their stuff, and then went to talk to them.
By the Maker, we're saved.
Hey, I didn't say anything about being saved now, did I?
You weren't sent by the ban, were you? To save us?
No, shut up. Tell me how to activate that golem.
The statue outside. Why would... Oh, I think I see. You bought the control rod, didn't you? You came here looking for Shale.
The idiot let down the shield having absolutely no idea who I was.
That damnable golem brought us nothing but trouble. My mother sold the rod years ago after it killed my father.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. This guy just couldn't shut up, could he?
But my daughter is inside the laboratory. She was afraid and ran too far in before I could stop her.
Didn't care what he was talking about. I just needed that password.
Then I will need to find some other way.
So I left that tool behind and went out just to cut my losses. But when I stood in front of the golem for just a couple seconds, I realized that if this thing could just crush people to death, I needed it. No matter the cost, even having to waste my time looking for someone's daughter. So I ran back to the pathetic excuse for a father and demanded he tell me the code.
If so, I'll gladly tell you the proper phrase. Just save my little girl, I'm begging you.
Then I threatened to kill him for it.
And then what will happen to Amalia? I won't tell you. I don't care what you do.
But after realizing this guy didn't actually fear death...
You will? Thank the Maker!
Well, I realized that sometimes there's worse things out there that I could do. So I agreed to go find his insignificant daughter, fought my way through hordes of these weird, slimy things made of gum or something, and found my way to this guy's daughter, sitting with a wild beast of nature.
Someone's come to play. You have come to play, haven't you? We're playing a guessing game. It's better with more people.
I'm not here to play your games.
Oh well, I suppose Kitty and I will just have fun on our own till someone more interesting comes along.
Come on, you inept brat, we're leaving.
I can't go. Kitty says she can't come, and I'm not leaving her. She'd be lonely.
You are so kind, Amalia.
But of course, the cat started talking, meaning that it wasn't actually a cat, it was a demon.
Of course she's a cat.
I am a cat. Really?
I told the cat I honestly don't care what it does to anyone.
Is that so? Did you hear that, Amalia? It seems you are not missed.
That's okay, Kitty. I have you.
And I have you. Release me, mortal, and let me have the girl.
So the cat wanted to possess the daughter. However, I had a way funnier idea.
Mortals often allow themselves to be blinded by hope. They see what they wish to see.
So I rushed back through the cave, killing all the inferior beings on my way, and got back to that father. Then I just told him exactly what I needed to, that his daughter was being enslaved by a
demon! No, this can't be! Amalia! I'll help you, I'm coming!
And oh, did he run! And so I chased after him to find out that everything had gone smashingly well.
This will do nicely. This one was most accommodating. In thanks, I offer you the true phrase, the golem, easily plucked from this mind. Dulan Han.
So, with the dad now possessed, I realized that this was going a little bit too well for them still. So I decided to just murder him in front of his daughter.
This Grey Warden's going to kill your daddy now.
No, you're a monster!
And with that, she ran away, never to be seen or heard from again. And as for me, well, I absolutely tore this demon to pieces. No hesitation. The only hesitation found here was Ailsitter, who died again on purpose. But after the demon was abolished from this realm, I now had everything I needed to enslave that golem into my companionship to crush all that opposed me. And so I spoke the magic key phrase. The hinterlands was too much. And the beast awoke from its slumber, standing before me at least over 6 feet tall or so.
I knew that the day would come when someone would find the control rod. Tell me, are all the villagers dead?
I mean, they are now.
Truly? Then the day is looking up. I see the control rod, yet I feel... Go on, order me to do something.
So I told it to kill apple cider.
Hey! And, nothing. I feel nothing. I feel no compulsion to carry out its command.
All right, well then you're coming with me.
Are you certain you want to bring that thing with us?
Abusing this thing's power is exactly what we needed.
Good point.
And with that, we had acquired another pile of rocks in our group, next to Ailstork's brain. And so we left to terrorize some local towns with it. And the first place to head to was, of course, Redcliffe, and their incredibly dramatic zombie problem. The town was a bit quieter this time, so I went to berate one of the locals.
Get away, you! I'm armed!
Shut up and tell me everything.
Fine. Monsters attacked the village and dragged the bodies off to the castle. It's magic.
You mean I missed the slaughter? So I threatened to kill him.
Get away, you! I'm armed!
With that, I ransacked the village since none of the other locals were here to actually put up a fuss, and ran back to where that idiot tried to recruit me for his little cause. Turns out some guy had partied a little too hard last night, so I figured I'd just leave him to suffocate in his own blood. Somehow, this random chick survived, but her husband and son were missing.
My husband and son went there to bring the chant of light to the chastened.
Find them yourself, you lazy wench.
I'm sorry to burden you with my mourning.
So I danced on this guy's dying body and left this ho-dung dumpster fire of a town. My next order of action was to go recruit some drones into my service, but I accidentally stumbled upon a hilarious little scuffle going down. So I just let it play it out. You know, what was I actually gonna do? Waste my own energy? Well, I ran up for the free loot, but unfortunately, it was still alive.
You were there in Ostagar. You know how things went. For me, it was either this, or die in some darkspawn's belly, or be hung as a deserter.
I told him I didn't have time for his petty existence and to tell me everything valuable he knows.
All day, and if you happen to find Caelan's body, see it off. He was our king. He shouldn't be left to rot amidst the darkspawn's filth.
Absolutely pathetic. I would do no such things. Well, next on the bucket list was to head back to Warden Town to try to scavenge what little I could find, on top of mercilessly shredding through hordes of darkspawn turtles who had taken over the area. Honestly, this is the army that killed everyone? They were so beyond measly. In fact, did you know that studies have concluded that the giraffe is the animal with the highest blood pressure, doubling over any other animal?
Poor fellow.
And with that in mind, I found a dumb animal and told it to hit the road because I wasn't gonna deal with that.
It's a good thing you didn't feed the little fellow, or we'd never have been rid of him.
We fought a bunch more turtles that happened to be in the area until finally, we found him. A truly embarrassing sight, honestly. It looks like he had no idea what he was even doing. You know what? He deserved this. Actually, he deserved me to kill him, and that just made me more angry at the idiot's inability to even die right. But I had wasted enough time looking at this sad excuse for a human, which is saying a lot, because some turtle maid showed up to annoy us. I would kill it at my earliest convenience. We massacred droves of darkspawn throughout the hillside, putting them down like the wild dogs they were. Naturally, Earl's Tear died again on purpose, and somehow Mrs. Witchwench obtained the ability to run around like a Spider-Man, but cooler. We slapped on all the new gear we looted from our fallen warden inferiors who couldn't even handle a simple task, and brutally terminated all the turtle spawn from both the outside and the inside of that tower we gave up so willingly to them until we managed to catch up to that stupid little imp of a mage who began throwing hands like we just hit up the wrong neighborhood. Regardless of his absolute pitiful display of idiocracy, I gunned him down except with knives and hitting him with them. He died instantly. However, I did let this thing live long enough to headbutt Yalestorm like a soccer ball. Finally, everyone was dead. We grabbed what trifling garbage these things managed to scavenge and made our way back out to the king, who was just still hanging around.
Oh, they left him here to rot. We need to do something.
Shut up. Let the Darkspawn have their fun.
This is disgusting. I want no part of it. He was our king, damn it! His spirit must return to the Maker.
Nah, because that would require work, and I don't see him paying me. And so we left, and headed to the city of Denerim, home to the Elven slaves. My first mission was to immediately piss off some kind of buffoon.
I recognize you from Ostagar, and trust his blood. You're a Grey Warden. You killed my friend. And good King Caelan, I demand satisfaction, sir.
He was mad about something I did, but honestly I didn't care, so I told him to either shut up or I'd kill him.
Meet me in the back alley behind the Nord Noble Tavern. There we will duel.
Of course, I accepted his little duel in the back alley where he ridiculously said,
Are you ready? I am no savage. I would not take advantage of you.
What a chump! Kill him!
Coward!
And so the battle for the back alley had begun, and it was glorious. They tried so hard to do literally any damage to us, but could barely get their breath under control. After toying around with them for way longer than we needed to, mostly just to see how many injuries a human can sustain without bleeding to death, we finally executed them and left their blood-drained corpses for someone else to clean up. Then I decided to break into someone's house. Luckily, they were still there.
What are you doing here?
And not only that, they were an assistant to someone I also didn't care about at all.
I'm the assistant of the scholar Brother Genitivi. This is his house.
I decided to ditch this nerd and run around his house a bit, but it turns out that he was just a big baby.
What are you doing? You're not supposed to go in there.
Oh yeah? Says who?
I'm sorry, but that room is not for guests. It's full of books and papers, and I'd rather they were not disturbed.
I don't care what you want.
I said no. Genitivi was a very private person.
I'm afraid you're an idiot.
No, don't touch that door!
Well, he attacked me first, so of course I had to defend myself, making his death right and the good thing to do. After he died like the parasite he was, I burst into the secret room, looted it up, and got out of there. What a waste of my time. There was nothing even of value in there. And so I left Denerim and headed to another small village of people who can't run, but very quickly found out...
What are you doing in Haven? There's nothing for you here.
I have business.
No, you do not. I would have been informed if someone was expecting a visitor.
Was that idiot's master here? That apprentice guy I killed?
Perhaps revered Father Eirik will know of whom you speak. Unfortunately, he's ministering to the villagers at the moment and cannot be disturbed.
Revered father? I've never heard of this.
It's always been thus in Haven.
Well, he was incredibly unhelpful, which meant that I needed to do everything myself. So I immediately told a kid to get lost.
I'm not a child.
With that, I made my way uptown to the local bar and just began destroying everything in sight. Of course, that's when I tried to enter the secret room.
What are you doing? That's private.
Well, that's funny, because I don't remember asking.
I don't see how that is any of your concern.
Oh, I don't have the right?
No, you have no right.
Sir, oh, you don't have the right. Oh, you do not have the right. After his hilarious death, I marched back into that room and found out that, well, he was into some weird stuff. Regardless, as I tried to leave, the village guards also appeared to be into that same weird stuff. So with them leaving me no choice, I butchered them all in the open streets for everyone to see. Well, turns out the villagers didn't like that so much, also being into weird stuff, so I made sure to put them all in their place, specifically face down in the dirt, especially that annoying loser's parents. And with that, I had murdered all the men and women of the town.
Now's better than later.
Naturally, I had to get to the bottom of all this weird stuff going on, so I slaughtered my way up further into the village, past the guards who embarrassingly couldn't even put up a fight, and into some kind of temple and disrupted their service.
We are blessed beyond measure. This sacred duty is given to us alone. Rejoice, my brethren, and prepare your hearts to receive her.
And of course, when I showed up, they shut up.
Ah, welcome. I heard we had a visitor wandering about the village.
Wandering? I've killed everyone out there.
Perhaps. We have a sacred duty. Failure to protect her would be a greater sin. All will be forgiven.
Well, if forgiveness means killing everyone that opposes you with great prejudice, then you could sign me up. It wasn't every day that we got to absolutely massacre an entire town of murder cultists, so I absolutely reveled in the fact that approximately 78% of the Earth's atmosphere is made up of nitrogen and 21% of it oxygen, and nearly all atmospheric water vapor is in the troposphere, the layer where most of the Earth's weather happens. So anyways, everyone was dead and I looted myself a new pair of shoes. We had already wasted enough time here. I don't even know why I came here in the first place, so we left. We went back to Castle Redcliffe, where in fact the entire town was now laid to waste except for one guy.
Odd how quiet the castle looks from here. You would think there was nobody inside at all. There is a secret passage here, in the mill, accessible only to my family.
Then a random chick ran up all panicked about probably nothing and proceeded to tell us that her dumb kid is going insane or something.
Tegan, there is a terrible evil within the castle, and I think Connor is going mad. He has seen so much death. You are his uncle. You could reason with him.
So I accused her of withholding information.
That's a rather impertinent accusation.
Then I played the race card to secure dominance.
No, I did not mean stop this. An evil I cannot fathom holds my son and the husband hostage. What more do you want from me?
After we babbled on about what we were going to do, I told them all to shut up and that I was going in.
Here is my signet ring. It will open the lock on the door in the mill. Whatever you do, Eamon is the priority here.
I also told him that his life was expendable.
Well, that's something, I suppose.
So we are just going to send him with that woman? It seems so dangerous.
That's exactly what we're going to do. And with that, we broke into the castle using ye old windmill secret passage and stumbled upon a couple of killable humans that barely put up what you could even consider a fight. After they were dead, I found some random guy in a prison cell.
Who's there?
Wait, you don't look like the Arlessa's guards. Are you from outside the castle?
I'll ask the questions here!
Yes, I understand.
Then I threatened to kill him if he did anything stupid.
No trouble from me. I'm a mage Lady Isolde hired to tutor her son Connor. Until they, threw me into the dungeon here.
So what did you actually do?
You don't know? I poisoned Al Eamon.
And why would you do that without me?
I know it looks suspicious, but I'm not responsible for the creatures and the killings in the castle. I was already imprisoned when all that began. She had me tortured. There was nothing I could do or say that would appease her.
Well, no explanation this guy could give would be good enough. He tried to kill someone without me.
You probably shouldn't. I wouldn't. I'd plead for mercy, but...
I say this boy could still be of use to us, but if not, then let him go. Why keep him prisoner here?
Hey, let's not forget he's a blood mage. You can't just set a blood mage free.
Shut up, both of you. He dies.
Why can you not? Must he be destroyed simply for what he is?
Yes, he's annoying and human. He dies. Stay out of this.
It does, but it seems this is not something you will accept.
All right, you die now. And with that, I made sure to stab him right between all his vital organs. Just as a quick prank. Dude would be laying there bleeding out for hours. So anyways, the passage to the main keep was quite the distance away, and the corridors were filled to the brim with executable vermin just lining up to die one by one. The battles we encountered were fierce, only because the enemies sent so many pathetic troops to try and eliminate us, but to no avail. In fact, vodka can be distilled in many different ways from a good number of substances, such as wheat, beets, potatoes, sugarcane, corn, and even rye. Finally, we had obliterated all the turtles from the castle all the way up to the main gate, where, as we burst through the doors, we were greeted by none other than...
So these are our visitors. The ones you told me about, Mother.
Yes, Connor.
And this is the one who was with Uncle Tegan? The one you met at my village?
Yes.
And now it's staring at me. What is it, Mother? I can't see it well enough.
This is an elf, Connor. You've seen elves before. We have them here in the castle.
Oh, I remember. I had their ears cut off and fed to the dogs. The dogs chewed for hours. Shall I send it to the kennels, Mother?
Connor, I beg you. Don't hurt anyone.
Mother? What's happening? Where am I?
Oh, thank the Maker. Connor? Connor, can you hear me?
Get away from me, fool woman! You are beginning to bore me.
Grey Warden, please don't hurt my son. He is not responsible for what he does.
So he is the evil you were babbling about.
No! Don't say that!
So, the boy has become an abomination and sundered the veil.
Connor didn't mean to do this. It was that mage, the one who poisoned Demon. He started all this. Connor was just trying to help his father.
And made a deal with the demon to do so?
Nobody tells me what to do anymore.
Nobody tells him what to do. Nobody! Ha 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 ha!
Quiet, Uncle! Tell us, woman, what have you come here for?
I just told him what he needed to hear.
I'm not finished playing. You can't make me stop. The village wasn't enough, and I'm bored now. I want more.
Well, this unhinged lunatic of a child sicked his palace dogs on me, so I had no choice but defend myself through murdering every last one of them without a moment of mercy. But this absolute tool of an uncle decided to live through the pain,
Tegan.
and that was a mistake I should have corrected when I had the chance.
Are you all right?
Better now, I think. My mind is my own again.
Right. Like any of us believed you were footloosing because you were possessed.
Connor's not responsible for this.
I told her I had no other choice but to kill her son.
Clearly the child is an abomination. There is only one way to stop it.
I agreed with Witchwench. Where was the child?
I think he ran upstairs. To the family quarters.
Then that's where I was going.
We can't kill a young boy, demon or no demon. Please don't say we're considering that.
What about the mage? He could know something of this demon?
Yeah. So about that mage...
Can we do nothing else?
Killing the child is the quickest course, but to say there is nothing else possible would be a lie. We can confront the demon in the Fade.
The demon is within Connor, is it not?
No, it lies in the Fade and controls the boy from there.
Shut up, witch! Shut up! Shut your mouth! Stop coming up with solutions!
So you can enter the Fade and kill the demon without hurting my boy?
Possible too? Yes.
Well, unfortunately, the witch wench came up with a helpful solution, which made me realize there were probably more victims out there if I went her way.
You can find lyrium and more mages at the Circle of Magi, if they would even do it.
Ego Sniffer was right, but it was way more fun to tease Mom about this.
Then there's not much more to say.
So I told her there was another way.
My son awaits your decision.
And then I told her there was no other way.
Don't. It isn't his fault. He just tried to help his father. Why must he pay with his life? I'm Connor's mother. I'm the Arlessa.
This is what must be done.
No! No! I won't let you do this. It isn't right.
Calm down. So dramatic, honestly.
You would murder an innocent boy who has done nothing to you?
Yes, actually. What are you gonna do about it?
Filthy murderer!
Well, with that out of the way, we left for the Circle, home of the nerds who cast spells like a bunch of hippies. So we slaughtered our way out of the castle and left immediately. Of course, we arrived at the dead of night, and there was a guard standing post to sail over to the island.
You're not looking to get across to the tower, are you? Because I have strict orders not to let anyone pass.
I tried to flex my Warden subscription card, but it bore no weight.
Oh, you're a Grey Warden, are you? Prove it.
So I just threatened to kill him, like usual.
Is that bad? Look, I'm just trying to do my job.
And just like that, we set sail for Nerd Island, home of the most stuck-up, egotistical maniacs. But it looked like the other egotistical maniacs had already arrived.
And I want 2 men stationed within sight of the doors at all times. Do not open the doors without my express consent. Who are you? I explicitly told Carol not to bring anyone across the lake.
First of all, I drowned Carol. Second, you have to do what I say.
I am weary of the Grey Warden's ceaseless need for men to fight the Darkspawn, but it is their right. The Circle is lost. The tower has fallen.
Hearing that a bunch of simpleton Templars died without cause here brought me great joy.
My men did what they could.
And now I'm gonna do what they couldn't.
I assure you, an abomination is a force to be reckoned with.
I am an abomination to humanity.
If you succeed, I would owe you much. Enough that I would pledge my Templars to your cause.
I demanded payment for whatever I decided I was gonna do in there.
We have nothing to offer you, but gratitude and service.
But they pathetically offered me nothing of value. Their lives. And so I went and laughed at the survivors who had lived the rest of their life in agony, and made my way into the tower, a guard closing the door behind me. Eagerly, I burst through my first door, but alas, an old hag appeared and cast dandruff over the monsters inside, stealing my kills.
Stop, right there. Take another step, and I swear I will strike you down where you stand.
Who was this sick gremlin sack of wrinkles to oppose me?
I am Wynne, Mage of the Circle, and these children are under my protection.
Watch your tongue, you shriveled pile of stitched-together pigskins.
Or what? I've dealt with every demon that has dared to threaten me in my own. You are a lesser menace than they.
I'm here to raise the Circle to the ground and kill everyone inside.
And did they tell you that you had to kill apprentices? Children?
The fact that you dim-wittedly believe anyone puppets me is laughable, you mage scum under my boot.
So that is how you really feel. Thank you for that insight.
You're mad if you think I'll let you lay a finger on these children. I will fight you if you won't listen to reason.
We should gain a better understanding of the situation before rushing in.
All you need to understand is that these mages still have organs still working inside them.
If you insist on making war upon the Circle, we have nothing more to discuss. It comes to blows, then.
No, stop! You can't just attack her! She's protected the children. She's not the one we should be wary of.
Alistair is right. She seems to be a good person, and she knows this tower.
All of you, your opinions. Tattoo them onto your tongue and then lick my boots.
I will stop you, or die trying.
All I heard her say was, I will stop or die. And so we began to thrash the cadabra out of every magic-drooling man, woman, and child in this room. The noble effort to protect a single soul here was futile, and I would send each and every one of them to a grave filled with my spit. I was gonna make sure that the pain they experienced here was all but— oh wait, they're all dead. Anyways, we had more important matters at hand, like doing whatever I wanted to everyone in this tower. So we obliterated all the weakling cast monsters in our path until we came across some human enemies that decided to stand in our way. So obviously we slashed them down to the ground like the worms they were.
Please, please don't kill me.
Well, hopefully your small G god shows you mercy, for you'll find none in the presence of me.
No, please.
And so I cut her down like a fruit tree in its prime. Obviously, my work here was far from over, and whoever was running this show needed to be put in their place. And with that, we left and accidentally stumbled into some sort of Italian that fell into a radioactive barrel of spaghetti.
I'd entertain you, but too much effort involved.
He was killing people without my permission. He would die right now.
Aren't you tired of all the violence in this world? Wouldn't you like to just lay down and forget about all this?
Unfortunately, he cast Nightglow on us, and we all fell for it like idiots, especially my companions.
You deserve a rest. The world will go on without you.
Well, lucky for me, I'm an expert at drug-induced comas, and this would be no different. And of course, I ran into some backwater Alberta town hobo.
Ah, there you are. I'm not disturbing you, am I?
Oh wait, this was just the guy that got killed embarrassingly.
I just wanted to make sure you were happy here in Weishaupt. These grand halls were built by the first Grey Wardens.
And then he tried to gaslight me.
The Darkspawn are gone, remember?
But I realized that this was an opportunity to kill him myself.
It seems only war and death will satisfy you. So be it.
So I seized the day. Carpet Democrat, as the people say, and I gutted this sad sack of sorry human internal organs during his pathetic fake afterlife. He meant absolutely nothing to me. And after that was over with, I found and drank from the forbidden school drinking fountain, containing no water, just the saliva of all that have suckled on its nozzle for the past 1,000 years. Well, since this was my overdose daydream, I was gonna do what I wanted to do. So I started killing everything in sight. I talked to a mouse that gave me his demonic powers. I became the mouse. I became some sort of fire guy and lit up hookers and golems. Then I became the golem and beat the crap out of prostitute Thanos. I then accidentally stumbled upon, what's his name? Not important. And he was with some sort of bimbo.
This is my sister, Goldanna.
Oh, turns out it was his sister.
We're one big happy family, at long last.
No, you idiot, I have to kill her because she's a demon.
Oh, that's what everyone says about their relatives.
He got really defensive about me stabbing his sister to death. So I just went to her instead and asked for permission to kill her.
I'm not so easily disposed of, Grey Warden.
And just like that, I became a golem and rocked the spit out of her like a freight train. Luckily, that stalker lady was easy to find. She was just over here praying to a demon.
Art thou, who exist in the sight of the Maker.
So naturally, I killed it and berated her for being so stupid. Finally, I found the witch wench who wasn't being fooled whatsoever. She was definitely the smartest in the bunch.
Away. Away with you. I shall have no more of your pestering.
Then her mom slapped her in the face with the force of a hucked brick. So finally, I told her I was just gonna kill her mom.
Good. Kill it. And then we can be off.
And that's exactly what I did. After tenderizing her like a fattened goat, I told the witch to go evaporate.
Wait.
And so she did.
What is this? No, not this again. I refuse.
With that, we left the atrocious place where I had spent an unreasonable amount of time doing very seemingly pointless tasks. Back to the tower. Where? Well, the golem transformation thing hadn't quite worn off yet. So I meandered down the halls out of here with the posture of a small-town shy librarian going to the big city for the first time in her life. Then I took a wrong turn and accidentally walked into an archdemon-worshipping cult initiation. It looked very similar to the one I saw in a documentary on Taylor Swift.
You accept the gift that I offer.
Once it was over, the man was completely turned into a spaghetti mutant, making them not nearly as fun to kill.
Care to join in our revels?
Nah, I think I'll just kill you still.
Fight, if you must. It will just make my victory all the sweeter.
And like that, the fight had begun. Me, a human trapped in a giant 2-ton rock carcass, versus a bunch of nerds wearing spaghetti. Until he smacked the golem right out of me. And just like that, we slaughtered all the rest of the mages, ending whatever they were doing here. I'm not quite sure.
We did it.
I feel almost sorry for them. Templars will forever be in your debt.
And so we left and went back down to those Templars who still couldn't be competent enough to find their own hands.
You said you have proof.
I told them I had killed everyone.
Accept my word as proof, sir. All the mages are dead.
And so the great circle of the Magi falls. For now, mages are not so easily controlled, it appears.
Your companion speaks with great wisdom.
And I think you've selective hearing.
I think not. Mages cannot be controlled by the circle. We must find ways to limit their dangerous powers.
Of course, imprisoning them is insufficient. We must find another way to oppress that which we do not understand.
She was right. We needed to round them all up like animals and castrate the magic right out of them.
And I did give you my word that we would aid you in your battle against the Darkspawn. I intend to honor my promise to you.
Although only a couple of people died, I now had an army of block-headed Templars at my disposal. And with that thought, I ditched this dump heap and headed back to Redcliffe, for I now had false hope to fill that mother's head with that I somehow fixed her son's demon problem. But of course, Uncle King on the side was plotting my assassination via Uber Assassin.
I bring word, sire. I have arranged for a solution. With your leave.
The Antivan Crows send their regard.
But he ordered economy carpool! That was his first mistake! Well, regardless, I was back at Castle Redcliffe and ready to gaslight the Queen like a redneck barbecue. So my first order of action was to run directly to Queen Mother, tell her that I had eviscerated all magic and demons from the circle entirely to help her son.
Connor is upstairs and remains quiet for the moment.
And then I told her there was no other way to help him and that he had to die.
Please, don't. It isn't his fault.
And with the pleasantries out of the way, my merry group of expendables murdered our way through the castle hallways and fancy rooms, making sure that even if this place was one day free, they'd never get the blood of the walls and floors. A permanent reminder of what I did here today. And when the final night breathed his last, we made it to the kid's room, where he just stood there.
She won't like you being here. She'll just try to hurt you.
I'm not afraid of some loser demon possessing you.
I think the scary lady is afraid of you. She says you'll ruin everything.
She better be afraid.
I can't hear her now. I didn't think she'd hurt everyone. Honestly, I didn't.
I told him he wasn't gonna get any mercy from me.
What does that mean? People always say things I don't understand.
Then I told him he had to die.
Is that why you're here? Are you going to kill me? She said you would.
I'm not here to answer stupid questions. What a friggin' idiot.
Oh, is it going to hurt much?
Oh, come on, Connor. This isn't 20 questions.
You'll never take him. He's mine.
And of course, the threat of violence brought out the demon, scared that Connor was literally one shot. It thrashed him about mercilessly, which was ironic because that's what I was gonna do to it. And with that, the demon summoned a bunch of incomprehensibly incapable knights running amok. So after we slaughtered them all, we focused solely on butchering this thing like a cattle ready for harvest. But of course, when everything was going so perfect...
Stop! Don't hurt him!
Ugh, this again.
Please, have mercy on him. He's just a boy. He doesn't deserve this.
Foolish shrew. Boys turn into men, and men turn into old men, and those die without giving me a chance to kill them.
There must be another option. The circle must know some spell, or we could... There must be some other way! Don't kill my baby! I'm begging you!
Step aside and stop being so dramatic.
No. It doesn't have to be this way. I know what's at stake, but you can't tell me it's worth his life. You're a woman. What if this was your son? Tell me you wouldn't move the mountains to save him?
Frankly, I would have moved mountains just to kill him.
No.
So I beat her over the head unconscious and proceeded to stab her son. We all stood around like in a hospital waiting room like heroes, and then she had the audacity to wake up and come to me and say,
"What have you done?"
"I stabbed your son through the heart."
It was just a boy. And what am I left with?
A castle, great riches, your comatose husband. Quit your crying.
I wonder just how long Eamon will survive, now that the demon cannot sustain him. Will I lose my whole family, do you think? I wish to mourn my son now.
I mean, there's not that much left to... Ah, screw it, go ahead. Then the whole town, so like 5 people left, got together to mourn the death of the prince. Nobody even thanked me for killing him. It was unbelievable. However, they lit a bunch of boats on fire for no reason, so that was cool or whatever.
So it is over.
Yeah, no thanks to any of you.
Connor is dead, and the demon gone with him.
Okay, you're welcome.
Your nephew is dead. Do not forget that in your great relief, Tegan.
But our task is not done yet. Whatever the demon did to my brother, it seems to have spared his life, but he remains comatose.
The urn of sacred ashes will save Eamon.
And of course, I was once again their little pack mule to get it.
If your business leads you elsewhere, I cannot hold you here.
And what, pray tell, will you give me if I get this for you?
I have nothing to give you, except, if we are fortunate, my brother and the armies he can muster.
An army? That's it? Fine, whatever, I'll get your stupid urn.
No one else can. I wish you luck, and may the Maker go with you.
And just like that, we had successfully murdered the Queen Lady's son and committed annihilation to an entire tower of mages. This was a good week. Things are good. So with that, we left to find the sacred urn and went back to that one village where we killed all those townspeople. No, not the one you're thinking of, the other one. But back in Denerim, Uncle King was having some family troubles. Uh-oh.
Sire, I have more news. It seems that the fighting has gone exactly as you...
I would like to know what you intend to accomplish, Father. Should we not be fighting the Darkspawn instead of each other?
The nobility should be brought into line and then the Darkspawn defeated. This is no true blight, Anora. Only Kaelin's vanity demanded it.
Beg pardon, sire. But blight or no, we may not have the manpower to face the Darkspawn soon.
Kaelin approached your legions for support, did he
Never!
not?
Marek and I drove those bastards out! Not roll out the welcome for them now!
We need help, Father. We cannot deal with this crisis alone.
Fereldan will stand on its own! You must have faith in me.
Did you kill Kaelin?
Kaelin's death was his own doing.
But of course, on my side of the drama...
Now that we're back at the camp, I want to talk about what happened at Redcliffe.
Yeah, that turned out great, didn't it? Everyone's happy.
You killed Connor.
Sure.
You killed him.
Yep.
A little boy. How could you do that?
Maybe you missed the part where I wanted to?
No, I didn't miss that. But if magic put that thing in him...
Oh,
how do
come
you know
on,
magic
come
couldn't
on,
have taken it out? There
no,
must have been
alright,
some
whatever.
other way. This is the Jarl's son we're talking about here. What do you think he'll say when we revive him?
Well, then maybe we shouldn't. I mean, what has he done for us?
What?
Yeah?
Of course we should revive him. That hasn't changed. I just don't know how you could do it, how you could make that decision.
Easily, I just think about what you care about and then I do the opposite.
Thanks. This is typical of you, really, isn't it? I don't know why I should have expected any different.
And with that, our bellies full of the jerky ripped off the corpses of our enemies, instead of having a good night's sleep, I forced my crew to get back up and out there. But alas, on our way, we were led by some chick right into the ambush of that assassin. And so, without giving any of them a chance to beg for their pathetic lives or even really put up a fight, we gutted them like rotten fish plucked out from a river, shredding them to pieces. Then we approached the assassin, still alive and kicking. Poor sucker. He just laid there, looking all worthless and vulnerable. So naturally, I slit his throat. There is no hope for those that oppose me, or help me. Or just anyone, actually. Well, because of that setback, I took a wrong turn and ended up in Elvish territory, but like, the annoying self-righteous ones.
Hold, outsider. You may be of my kind, but you are not Dalish. Why are you here? If you have no purpose here, then I suggest you turn around and return whence you came.
And what will you do if I don't?
Then the arrows currently trained on you will fire and you will quickly be dead.
Was she threatening me? Well, just for that I was gonna have to kill all of them.
And we don't react well to outsiders. I would die to protect my clan, though it need not come to that.
Oh, you will.
I hope.
I had to get in there now, so I said I had business inside.
And what business is that?
Oh, just shut up and take me in!
I do not appreciate your tone. I will, however, take you to the Keeper and let him decide for himself.
And just like that, screaming at someone enough gets you your way.
I see we have guests.
But this one claims to have important business with our people.
I see. What business could you possibly have with us?
You shut your mouth when you talk to me, you knife-eared anorexic for aesthetic pompous oaf.
That is your business? To threaten us?
Oh, just remember, you started this.
I see. If you came to bring news of the Blight in the south, it is not needed. I had already sensed its corruption. I would have taken the clan north by now. Unfortunately, we may not be able to live up to the promise we made.
He showed us a bunch of dying and dead weaklings for some reason, then babbled on about being cowards or something.
The Blight's evil must be stopped. but we are in no position to uphold our obligations.
Okay, so you said there were werewolves in the forest?
There was a time in Fereldan's history when werebeasts roamed the lands in great numbers. Spirits possessed animals and turned them into horrific monsters.
Okay, but maybe they're fine.
They are savage and unrelenting. They need no reason to attack anyone.
All right, you're a pansy, I got it.
I doubt that.
With that, I ran around the village to complete a couple errands. First being, I found some guy whose wife got kidnapped by werewolves, allegedly.
And though he says that Delilah is dead, he will not let me see her. I am beginning to believe she became a werewolf.
And I gave him some false hope.
I have an amulet made by our craftsman. It's not much, but I would be happy to give it to you in return for any news.
Then I found this idiot.
I told you to leave me alone. Please just go away.
He kept babbling on and on until I threatened to beat the crap out of him.
Before you... all right. I suppose it makes no difference. The real problem is Gaina.
Ah, girl problems, I see.
She's my heart's desire. I have asked for her hand, but she cruelly refuses it.
Because he was small and pathetic and annoyed me, I went to talk to his crush.
Andaran Atishan, outsider.
I made sure she knew I just spoke to him.
You spoke to him? What did he say?
And then I told her that he hates her guts.
He hates me? Are you certain?
Naturally, I doubled down and told her that she wasn't worth his time at all.
Not worth his time? Why, that bearskin calf. I'll give him a reason to hate me.
Yeah, get him.
Kamin? How dare you?
This was all going quite wonderfully.
Gaina!
Don't even start with your excuses. I already know what you've been saying.
Let me explain, Gaina.
No, you will never have me, Kamin. Never! Don't you ever talk to me again!
Gaina!
Pranked! Now you're gonna die a virgin, like, tomorrow, huh?
She's gone now. Lost to me forever. Here. Take this.
For some reason, he gave me his wedding ring, which I could probably pawn for like 20 bucks or something.
I don't even want to see it.
And then I went to the goat pen and found out one of the goats was being investigated for treason or something.
They are the noble beasts that pull our Aravel. What humans call landships. They are our companions and our guides.
Well, I couldn't let that happen.
I fear she may have been bitten during the werewolf attack. Curse would not affect her as it would us, but it would still be lethal. And it may prove contagious to the other Hala as well. I can find no wound on her, but do you have any skills that might help her?
So I pretended to examine the thing.
Your techniques are strange to me.
And I convinced her that this goat was a Nazi.
Ah, it is as I thought then.
Well, she killed that thing without hesitation.
It is customary for the herder to take the antlers of a fallen Hala. I give them to you, friend.
Well, now I had its antlers. Not really sure what I'm supposed to do with them, but regardless, it was time to venture into the forest of werewolves. After entering, we immediately found, you'll never guess, werewolves. So we quickly killed all of them because, honestly, at the end of the day, you gotta do what you gotta do. But that's when we stumbled upon a couple that could speak. Not well, but all right for a couple of bilinguals.
The Watchwolves have spoken truly, my brothers and sisters. Another of the Gaelish come to put us in our place.
They spoke about how much they hated the elves, but truth be told, the more unhinged they got, the more I sided with them.
Their threats are empty, as are yours.
They did try to kick me out of the forest, but if they did, I'd have to kill all of them.
Very well. I will not risk throwing my people at you. The forest has eyes of its own, and it will deal with intruders as it always has.
So I just commanded them all to run back home, and I'd be there sooner or later either to join or kill their leader. Once they skedaddled off, I found out the forest was just a desolate wasteland filled with rabid werewolves and darkspawn running around like they owned the place. So, not wanting to let them have any real estate around here, we killed everyone. We then came across an elf who was critically wounded, in desperate need for help.
We were sent to find Witherfang. Bring his heart. Attacked.
He collapsed out of either exhaustion or pettiness. Regardless, I looted him for anything valuable he had, which wasn't much. And then I just decided to kill him.
Wait. You can't just... He's helpless.
Oh yeah? Watch me. And so I waited for him to regain consciousness, and then stared into his eyes as I slit his throat. We got back to killing a bunch more werewolves that didn't get the memo I wanted to enslave them, and came across one with a bit more sense.
Please, help. Listen. I am not the mindless beast I appear to be.
But after the beast painfully scrounged up enough words to formulate comprehensible sentences, I realized...
Have you seen my clan?
It was that guy's wife!
Oh, there. Please, hand it for me. Hand it quickly.
She begged for death, which makes it literally zero fun, so I refused to free her of the curse.
Hand it myself.
So then she just outright attacked me, which then changes things a bit, you know, like higher stakes and all that. And huzzah, she was dead. Well, now I had a good story to tell her husband when I got back. I proceeded to kill a bunch of giant stick bugs that got in my way, and eventually ended up at some old man.
Oh dear, oh dear. Ask a question and you'll get a question, but give an answer and you'll receive the same. Oh, I do so love to trade.
I just told him I'd kill him.
No, that is not a question.
I tried to stab him anyways, but he was a quick bug.
Not fair.
He once again tried to reason with me, but now I really just wanted him dead, so I slashed again. No avail, and I walked off pissed off at the interaction. That was until I came across some weird stump in the forest.
Can I get you a ladder?
When I started investigating, look who came running.
Hold on, you. That's private property. That's an old man's home, that is. Keep out. Keep out.
The idiot tried to get me to stop interacting with this pile of trash he collected, and the more I did, the more angry he got.
Robber is what you are. They sent you, didn't they? Well, I'll show you. They won't get away with this.
Finally, the old dolt decided to lose his patience, as I had already, and attacked me without any reason other than I destroyed his property. After slashing this embarrassing washed-out lemon to bits, I stole what useless crap he owned and made my way deeper into the forest to find the werewolf's secret hideout. Finally, after seemingly forever, we found Werewolf HQ, and then got jumped by a couple.
The forest has not been vigilant enough. Still you come. Leave this place!
I told them I was going in anyways.
I do not believe you!
And that interaction concluded in the logical slaughter of all of them. But naturally, a white-maned dog leapt in to save their hides. I was stunned by the fact that a poodle could save a werewolf. No matter, I charged in further to their base, once again getting stopped by an incompetent moron.
We are invaded! Intruders have deceived their way into the forest's heart. Fall back to the ruins. Protect the lady!
I think this is it. Werewolf City.
Werewolf City. Truly a place of unrivaled deodorant sales.
Did the elves live underground?
Shut up, human! Werewolves to kill! And we did just that. After putting those flea-ridden sacks of garbage in their place, we began to head into their tunnels. And this place was a maze, filled with more than werewolves, but also arachnids and cadavers. I then stumbled upon a circle with some kind of anus filled with liquid. There was no time to waste. I drank it. Huh. Nothing happened. So I drank it again. After realizing it was just expired prime dumped by 7-Eleven, we left and found a different route, naturally swarmed with enemies and heaps of flames everywhere. I commanded my stalker to shoot the flames to teach Aging Sphere a lesson in wearing sunblock. We had arrived at none other than the local kiddie pool and dove right in. And on the other side, clearly being the werewolf's super secret hideout, we slaughtered them all. I know I was looking to conscript them into my army, but hey, culling the herd of the weak is never a bad tactic. In fact, did you know that cows, instead of having regular teeth, actually have a tough pad of skin on the top front, 8 incisors on the bottom front, and 6 very strong molars on the top and bottom of each side for grinding. So anyways, all the werewolves were dead, and I now had enough pelts to trade for the equivalent value of North America in the 1400s. With buckets of bloodshed behind us, I knew we were getting real close to the leader of the werewolves, and I was right as usual.
Stop! Brothers and sisters, be at ease. We do not wish any more of our people hurt.
They knew they couldn't stop me. They could only let me through.
I have been sent to you on behalf of the lady. She believes you may not be aware of everything you should be.
Then take me to her or perish like the rest of your inferiors.
Follow me.
With that, they led me into a room that absolutely reeked. I mean, imagine going to a gym and then gathering everyone who's worked out for an hour together in the sauna, fully clothed, and they had all eaten a burrito crunch supreme right beforehand, and also Jabba the Hutt is there. I digress. We were confronted with poison ivy.
I bid you welcome, mortal. I am the Lady of the Forest.
Yeah, I couldn't really care less. Just let me control your werewolves.
They come to me, and I remain with them, that is true. But I am no prisoner. nor valuable to be guarded jealously.
Do not listen to her, lady. She will betray you. We must attack her now.
I would have welcomed that.
Swiftrunner, your urge for battle has only seen the death of the very ones you've been trying to save.
I asked why they even wanted to ambush the snobby elves.
We seek to end the curse. The crimes committed against Zathrian's children were grave, but they were committed centuries ago by those who are long dead. Please, mortal, you must go to him. Bring him here.
After they put their pitiful plan on display, I offered them an alternative. We literally just massacre them all. Full genocide, no holds barred.
I like this plan.
So do I. I am truly impressed.
And you would help us in this?
Oh, absolutely.
You would attack the Dalish?
Without hesitation. I mean, I might be an elf, but I'm not that level of elf.
Then we attack. They are weak with the curse. Let us leave him no choice but to break it. Break it or die.
Gather the others. Tonight, we go into battle.
And with that, I had convinced the werewolf army to fall under my control and slaughter all those useless, stuck-up simpleton elves with their faces and their arms and their posture. Disgusting, they disgust me. We marched straight into their camp, no concern for safety whatsoever. Just how I like my wars being fought. And I stood down Zathura, or whatever.
So, it has come to this.
It sure has.
The Grey Warden betrays us after all.
Are you kidding me? This is way more entertaining.
Then you are twice the fool I thought.
You began this, Zathrian, not they.
It's true. This is all because that elf lady threatened me.
This is your doing.
And they deserve their fate, Spirit. They still do.
You will end this curse! End it, or you will all die!
Never! Never! You shall suffer as I suffer.
Well, hilariously enough, he chose to have his entire encampment mercilessly ripped apart rather than do one simple task. And who would I be if I didn't oblige? And so the great werewolf-elf battle that nobody would know ever happened after it ended had begun. The elves fought like a bunch of piss-drunk 90-year-olds who just came out of getting their catheters set up. I made sure to decapitate that guy's crush right in front of him, just to mess around with him a little bit. We marched from tent to tent, elf to elf, putting them down like wild animals, each of them fighting pointlessly and without a single ounce of hope, for we had taken it all from them. And right after that, their lives. There was nothing left but ashes and blood. And a lot of drool, honestly, these frickin' walking carpets.
We shall never be free of the curse, my lady. I am sorry.
Yeah, so sad, you'll never be normal again.
What would you ask of us in return?
Now be forced to fight the Darkspawn for me.
Then I offer you my oath. The werewolves shall do battle.
But you will have your army, mortal.
Finally, things were coming together, and I had now recruited an entirely emotionally unstable band of werewolves to fight alongside me. Things were looking up. That was, of course, until Egg Salad went on this little rant.
Oh, that's a traditional Fereldan lamb and pea stew. Do you like it?
Oh, so it was lamb then.
After that fiasco, I forgot all about that kid I killed's mom whose husband was still in a coma and figured, I'll see what all the hype is about that sacred urn, I guess, and made my way back to the town where I killed all those townspeople. We went straight back up to the temple where everyone was still dead there too, and found the secret storage room where they keep the fold-up electric drum kit. And also, apparently, some guy taking a nap. Absolutely, I could kill you.
While I would like the pain to stop, I would prefer it if death were not involved. My name is Genetivi.
Okay, I couldn't care less. Did you find the urn?
Did I fall to my knees in front of it and weep? No. Did I discover its location? Yes. Haven lies in the shadow of the mountain that holds the urn. Irik wears a medallion that opens the temple door. I've seen what he does with it.
That I could decapitate off?
Yes, that is your key. Take me to the mountainside and I will show you.
Nah, you're not coming with us.
This has been my life's work.
You're old and slow and deserve to die not having your life fulfilled.
But...
I'll try not to slow us down.
Well, I guess we didn't have a choice. This old geezer was joining us regardless. He took us directly there, no hesitation.
Here we are. Give me the medallion, and let's see if I remember.
What a rookie mistake.
And there. A key to open the way.
And with that, we opened the door with the medallion I took off of someone by cutting off their head. It was way easier than having to, you know, lift it up and get it over the hair and all that.
I could not keep up with you with my injuries.
And with that, we had our heading towards a sacred urn to do whatever I wanted with. And naturally, with that, we came across essential characters, no doubt protectors of the urn.
Stop! You will go no further!
I'll kill ya.
The righteous do not fear death. You have defiled our temple. You have spilled the blood of the faithful and slaughtered our young.
Okay, most people have a 9 to 5. There's no need to insult my occupation. Just give me the urn.
You did this all for an ancient relic. The ashes you seek reside atop this mountain, watched by an immortal guardian who refuses to accept the truth. Take this. The blood of the dragon. You know what you must do.
Bad idea. Remember the last time you had to drink blood? Only worse.
Eggstar, if I wanted your opinion, I'd just kill you like I did with that fisherman village.
Oh, a fishwife, eh?
And honestly, drinking blood is just a daily routine at this point. I'm not some sanguinarian or something. I've just sliced so many people, it's hard not to, you know? Like, are you gonna not eat the honey just because there's bees in the hive? It's the same thing. Well, regardless, there we were, the Temple of the Urn or whatever, and there was a Dragon Age. It was glorious, purple, and I knew that within it beat a heart so large and stabbable I could hardly contain my excitement. As we approached the temple, the dragon obviously defended it against us, smart little thing. It knew more than these schmucks letting us in could figure out. However, this absolute Andraste simp was a tier 3 sub and the dragon knew it, so it let us go in as he vouched on our behalf.
I have spoken to the beloved Andraste. She will let you pass.
So there we were, within the temple, ready to solve some ancient riddles.
No man has seen it. Of what do I speak?
Women!
That is not of what I speak.
Well, I tried. Honestly, riddles are for people who think solving them somehow makes them enlightened. But all it makes you is a smug jerk. You hear me? A smug jerk, Jared!
She wields the broken sword and separates true kings.
Okay, I know this one. It's...
From love she grows.
Wait, I got this. It's...
Bride greeting.
Oh, this one's easy.
The debt of blood must be...
Obviously, it's... Well, all the riddle tellers were dead. I got a solid 0 out of 6 on that front, but hey, we were in. And came across yet another puzzle to solve. This one was a lot easier once we stopped listening to Ailstock's incessant ramblings, and we just ran around at random, stomping on the plates until the bridges formed before us. This is the proper way to solve this puzzle. There is no other way. And finally, I approached none other than the Wall of Fire, a pedestal standing in between us. I wasn't sure what this meant exactly, so instinctually I stripped almost naked, and I guess my companions just do whatever I do, so there we all were, naked and in flames. Luckily, somehow that solved the puzzle.
You have been through the trials of the gauntlet.
And then this guy had to show up.
The path of Andraste, and like her, you have been cleansed.
Okay then, I didn't know I did any of that. We were there, ready to stand up to the urn of sacred something-rathers. It turned out just to be a boring-looking piece of pottery made in community college.
I never dreamed I would ever lay my eyes on the urn of sacred
Stop
ashes.
looking at it, this is mine!
I have no words to express.
I stand in awe. Really?
I actually aspire to have Witchwench's level of tone to never actually tell if you're sarcastic or not. Well, there was really only one option left here, and that was to douse this thing in dragon blood.
No!
The ashes!
Yeah, what about him?
I knew I'd regret letting you go through with this.
You... fiend!
Obviously, this over-glorified ashtray meant something to my stalker, so I just told her to shut up.
How dare you! I will not let you simply walk away from what you've done.
This most grievous of sins cannot go unpunished.
And like that, my stalker turned on me. Who could have predicted this outcome? Well, she got what she deserved. The ones closest to her chopping her down where she stood like a dying branch. Then this pathetic excuse for an urn protector tried to attack us, but it only took all but a few seconds to slay him, his blood spilling all over the location where the desecrated urn stood defiled. And with that, we got out of there. That was enough shenanigans for one day. And outside, who else could have been waiting for us but the losers who let us in?
Already, the weight of the past seems to have lifted off the mountain. You are Andraste's Knight Champion. What you have done here will change the world forever.
They just spewed verbal garbage everywhere, so I asked for my reward.
Yes, It would be a grave sin to deny you your just reward. You will share in the power of the dragon, the blood of the dragon, drawn from the beating heart of a wyvern!
Yeah, I'd drink that.
The blood of a dragon is not attained cheaply. Appreciate this gift.
Are you sure this is wise? They say you are what you eat. What if you turn into something scaly and...
Honestly, shut up, guy. And now I had both consumed the blood of the Darkspawn and a dragon, and let me tell you, that dragon blood ain't I awoke staring at some sort of killable thing.
Do you feel any differently?
Not really. Like I said, this ain't anything new to me.
That is the nature of dragon blood.
And then there I was, part dragon, I guess.
Ah! Our champion has returned!
But of course, now that I had taken their sacred gift, I couldn't let these fellas live, are you kidding me?
You would turn on us? After we've bestowed upon you the power granted by the Prophet? If you seek death, then I will gladly give it to you.
No one else was getting that dragon blood big gulp but me. So it begun. The last day of the Sacred Urn Dragon Blood Drinking Fan Club, and all the members were now within killing range, and not one of them would live to tell the tale of the one who killed them all, and let not one of them live to tell the tale. We looted their corpses and proceeded to slaughter any others who were out there still alive. And then, as I blew some random horn I picked up somewhere, we were blessed by a foe most delicious, and the true fight was upon us. Just to prevent anyone else from ever drinking its blood, I reveled in the glory of bathing in the blood of a dragon still breathing. It proved to be quite the formidable foe, but alas, it was very mortal and weakened by its age. Its dragon age. Of course, Abe Stairwell died here during the battle of his career, but no matter. I leapt upon the dragon's scaly neck and stabbed through its thick skull. It flung me 10 feet, no, 1,000 feet into the air, and I landed back on its head to finish the beast off with a devastating blow after blow. Oh, it was beautiful, the way the dragon fell lifeless to the cold ground of the ravine, never to bless anyone worthy again. So anyways, we ran back through the cavern to where that waste of time old geezer was.
Welcome back. You were gone for quite some time. Well, did you find it?
How's your running leg doing?
Better. Much better. It seems I shall have the limp for the rest of my days, but at least I have my life.
That is an incredibly ironic statement. So I quickly teased him with the ashes.
Perhaps my research will not seem so much like blasphemy to the Chantry now. We must organize an expedition. There is so much history here, it must be studied.
No! This is my secret. No one can come here.
But the urn belongs to all the faithful. How can you deny this to them? No, we must share it. I will spread this good news or die trying.
Well, I had permission. He looked at me with utter distaste, and I did give him a little bit of a running start with that good as new leg, but... Well, the brain is a little harder to heal up again.
Was murdering a defenseless old man really necessary?
Yup. And with that, we departed from the musty old cavern filled with dead people and made our way back to camp. Where unfortunately...
I think we need to talk. Right now.
Get out of my way, you sad sack of crap.
I'm not getting out of your way. I'm going to talk and you're going to listen. You're a Grey Warden. I know you weren't one for very long before Duncan and the rest were all killed, but that didn't mean you stopped being one. And I'm sick of the mockery you're turning it into. Duncan would have been disgusting.
Yeah, whatever. This guy just can't stop complaining.
Big surprise. Do you care what anyone thinks?
Nope.
That the Grey Wardens might be a tradition worthy of upholding, even if you don't care about all the lives you're saving?
Being a warden or whatever, it's stupid, and I feel dumber for being one.
I don't know if I should be surprised by that or not. I guess I'll have to be satisfied with you actually helping to stop the Blight, won't I?
Yeah, sucks to be you, huh? What a joke of an existence.
Let's just go. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
So I left him to have a good night's sleep. I also made sure to give a nug to the werewolves, keeps them fat and in line.
I really shouldn't. They're fatty little things. You know, I think I will. Thank you, Warden.
Well, we had that stupid urn of whatever, so I headed back to the Comatose King to wake him up to exploit his armies. Well, we woke the old man back up, but I couldn't help but feel gross even being part of this healing ritual.
Be calm, brother. I'm Connor. Where is my boy? Where is our son?
He's dead. Oh my gosh, you don't have to drag this out. It's been like a week.
Grey Warden, I am in your debt. Will you permit me to offer you a reward for your service?
There's nothing you can give me, human.
Are you certain?
I said I'm not interested.
Then so be it.
We should speak of Loghain, brother. There is no telling what he will do once he learns of your recovery.
I will spread word of Loghain's treachery, both here and against the king. We need someone with a stronger claim to the throne than Loghain's daughter, the queen.
Are you referring to Alistair, brother? Are you certain?
This idiot? King?
Hey, I'm right here.
Alistair's claim is by blood.
And what about me? Does anyone care what I want?
No.
You have a responsibility, Alistair.
But I...
What say you to that, my friend? I do not wish to proceed without your blessing.
First of all, I'm not your friend, cretin, and can't we just kill the guy?
I'm not sure that would help our cause.
Fine, you know what? Civil war sounds great right about now.
Very well. I will send out the word. We will need all the allies we can get if we are to defeat the Darkspawn Horde.
Our work here was finally over, but our work elsewhere had just begun. For we headed towards the city of the dwarves, only to be once again stopped.
Vieta, I cannot allow entry at this time.
King Loghain demands the allegiance of the Desher, or lords, or whatever you call them in your assembly.
I tried to convince them I somehow had important business here, and this boy meets world looking punk said,
None more important than mine.
Your business will wait.
Every single time, no matter where I went, this is why no one likes humans.
I'm a messenger of King Loghain.
Kill each other as you will.
And so, for the next 30 seconds, I wailed on them so hard I thought a boat of tourists would show up. And then I demanded access to the city.
You've done me a service. That fool Imrek was barking for a week. You are free to enter Orzammar, Grey Warden.
And just like that, we had full access to the Dwarven City, a pointless place filled with the most stuck-up, self-righteous snobs you'd ever seen. My first order of tearing the society down, religion. This guy was refused permission to start a Dwarven chantry.
Baker's blessing.
And I was gonna fix that.
I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar.
And by fix it, I meant allow religious Dwarven zealots to tear all tradition and heritage down.
Oh, I'd hoped you'd say that.
I also took a quick visit to the slums, obviously, because down there I was allowed to just kill everyone I wanted without any consequences. They just all lined up to die. And at the end of the day, no one would remember any of these people. I tried to talk to one of the locals about some kind of pyramid scheme he had going on.
Who are you? Any chance you're looking to make a little coin?
But once he knew who I was, well...
Get out of here. I'm not handing one thing over to your...
I then proceeded to find a poor Slav single mother begging on the streets.
Have you a coin to spare, milady? It's for my son. He's sick.
I told her to get a job, and her gutter mind immediately went to prostitution. Like, come on!
And what would you have me do?
There's lots of other jobs out there, like
to help?
slavery.
I used to be a miner, but my parents stripped my caste and refused to accept me back. Unless I agree to abandon the child in the deep roads and pretend I never bore him.
She was only down here because her bastard kid got her exiled, so, with that, I told her just to ditch the kid and get out of here.
How can you say that? I cannot abandon my baby. I can't kill him because of an accident of birth. An accident I forced on him.
Death is just a part of life, sooner than later, right?
Maybe it would be better to spare him that. Let him join the ancestors.
Exactly. This is for the good of him, not you, not what you want. That's when I sadly stumbled into some political debate as if this place even mattered in society.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the service trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts.
Well, it seemed like political espionage was the ticket to manipulating these fools to go to war, so that's exactly what I would do. I headed straight towards the Dwarven Arena, where I would slaughter all of their greatest champions in the name of a political leader I had never met.
Did you wish to fight in the Proving today?
No, just put me in there.
Well, that's a surprise. Now, is there a particular name you wish listed?
I said put me in there!
That's what I like to hear.
And there I was, poised, ready for murder, to put down all the Dwarven fighters and leave the people crying in shame as an elf proves more bloodthirsty than they.
First up is Suwern of the warrior caste. Many of you remember when Suwern made history as a lad of 12 by defeating his own father in this very ring.
In the name of House Idukan and our future King Balin.
There is no glory for you here, dwarf, only the shame you will bring upon your abandoned family.
First warrior to fall is vanquished.
And like that, the first of many arena rounds had begun. and then ended faster than it took for the ringleader to announce the battle.
The winner is the Grey Warden. This round, Paramount's champion takes on the notorious duo, the warrior caste's twin terrors, now fighting for Prince Balin.
May the stone honor you.
When you fall.
May the dirt taste good when I feed it to you.
First warrior to fall is vanquished.
Them sending 2 champions to kill me made me all the happier. And I started to realize that this would be a good long day of slaughter.
The Grey Warden.
And I would rain down blood throughout all of it. Until finally, I was forced to have my companions join me in the last beautiful annihilation of dwarven champions.
Last one standing will be declared victor.
What a joyous occasion! People cheering us on as we butchered their fan favorites before their eyes. And then, of course, Allstump died again on purpose in front of everyone. It was so embarrassing. But regardless, soon all the champions were dead and I stood over their lifeless corpses. The people cheered.
The winner is the Grey Warden!
For they knew not of their fate now written in stone.
Congratulations! You defeated the man Prince Trian himself once called the Horns of my army.
Hey everyone, you're all gonna die.
Spoken like a true warrior.
With those shenanigans out of the way, I was now granted access to go meet with one of the dwarven political party leaders, Harrowmont, a devout dwarf bent on keeping the other races of the world separate.
I appreciate what you have done, Warden, and I apologize for putting one of your rank through such trials. I am Lord Pyral Harrowmont.
I don't care, give me an army.
For us, the Darkspawn are a constant menace, so a blight may not elicit the same urgency you are used to. Have you heard of a woman named Jarvia and the criminal carter she runs?
So I kill him and you get the credit, huh?
Glad you're so eager. Do this, and I promise if I take the throne, I will not stop until the Assembly sends your troops.
Hey, you don't have to ask me twice to murder someone, or even once, I'll just do it anyways. And there I went, off to kill some notorious dwarven gang leader, drug trader, something like that. But obviously, word travels fast here. Probably because it's just a giant echo chamber, so we were ambushed on our way to the slums. After murder, I started my investigation to find whatever her name was, so I decided to just start breaking into the houses down here, until I bumped into a whole band of misfits.
Well, look what we have here.
Jarvia said you were looking for trouble. Congratulations. You found it.
This guy actually thought he was the danger. This discount Heisenberg knockoff was about to break a lot more than just bad. After breaking nearly every bone in his body, he shamefully surrendered.
Sorry ancestors. What do they teach you on the surface? You fight like a bleeding archdemon. Sweet bloody stone, look at them all.
I demanded Jarvis's location.
The base is below the city.
Well, will you let me go now?
Let you go? You will all die and the city will burn! And so as we slaughtered the dwarves, crying out in fear and pain, I loved the fact that not only did cows have 4 stomachs, but they could produce 80 liters of milk a day, and could consume 150 pounds of feed, and drink approximately 200 liters of water every day. And we shredded a path all the way to Jarvis, who was the least intimidating dwarf, potentially, of all time.
So, Paramount finally realized we're taking the city, yet he still can't be bothered to send his own men. Well, you picked the wrong side, stranger. It doesn't matter who's king, as long as there's a—
Stop monologuing, you discount hobbit! And just like that, we began cutting down her dwarves one by one. And Jarvis herself, well, she had the most embarrassing death of being frozen in a block of ice and then pushed into a barrel. As for the rest of them, they fought as though they were using up their sick day. Well, with all the criminals dead and our simple task out of the way, we rushed back to Harrowmont to let him know that he killed all of them, and it was him who did everything.
I heard the news. Jarvia and her carter are dead. I suppose it was unrealistic to expect them to surrender.
I wasn't giving them the option.
But when Balin heard the news about Jarvia, he is forcing a vote in the next 2 days. By law, that prevents the Assembly from hearing any other pleas. Do you know anything of the Paragon Bronca?
Don't care. Tell me what you want.
As a Paragon, she outranks even the Assembly. Were she to support me as king, this awful debate would be over.
And if she's dead?
If not, bringing proof of her death, or a body to return to the stone, would still show that as an ancestor, it was my hand she guided to her remains.
So to the deep roads we marched, only to be stopped by your typical Thursday afternoon drunk dwarf.
Stranger, have you seen a Grey Warden hereabouts?
You're an absolute idiot and I rebuke you.
Well, if you're the best they got, then standards must have fallen way down. And if you're looking for Branka, I'm the only one who knows what she was looking for. Which might be pretty sodding helpful in finding her.
I told him that he was useless and should leave, but unfortunately...
If we're going, let's get moving.
I'll be honest with you. These deep roads, they were a maze of incredible proportion. Honestly, all we did was run around, fight a bunch of darkspawn that didn't know how to get out of there. After great amounts of blood was spilled, we came across some kind of fella.
Go away! This is mine! Only I gets to plunder its riches!
What a fool you are, and I laugh in your direction!
How dare you laugh?
You do what I say or I kill you.
Please don't hurt Ruck. Ruck is sorry.
But I was bored and hadn't killed anything in about 3 minutes, so...
No! Do not hurt Ruck!
And I wanted his stuff, which, well, I was right. He barely had anything anyway. So we got back to the usual demon hunting, killing, all that good stuff. And it wasn't until we came across the ravine. A ravine filled to the brim with turtle terrors marching, surely to lay siege upon the overlay. And not only that, but we finally saw it. The archdemon, a dragon guy. Oh, just looking at it had me salivating at the thought of cooking it over an open fire. And that motivated me to join into a giant dwarven battle against the Darkspawn, trying to break into their city and slaughter all their people, which I would have absolutely allowed to continue had I been given the opportunity, but sadly I had to cross this bridge and they were in the way. After we sliced through every last turtle, we then began to fight further, deeper into the Darkroads, but we were stopped in our tracks by Branka, this dwarf guy's Minecraft GF.
After all this time.
Branka? By the stone! I barely recognized you!
The Anvil of the Void! The means by which the ancients forged their army of golems and held off the first archdemon ever to rise. It's here. So close I can taste it. If you wish me to get involved with this imbecilic election, I must first have the Anvil.
What has this place done to you?
I don't know, but honestly, I'm gonna let her do what she wants for now. She's gonna get a lot of people killed, I'm sure of it. So without hesitation, we headed straight to the anvil, the very tool used to forge golems from nothing but, well, rocks or something, I'm sure. Probably not some dark secret behind it or anything. And that's when we met the Iron Giant.
My name is Fereldan. Once, longer ago than I care to think, I was a paragon to the dwarves of Orzammar.
Fereldan, the Paragon Smith. Alive?
Ah, there is a voice I recognize. Shale of the House of Kadash. I made you into the golem you are now, Shale.
Unfortunately, this had become a family reunion.
If you seek the anvil, then you must care about my story, or be doomed to relive it.
Which disgusted me, so I told him I was gonna give the anvil to Branka as leverage.
But she does not understand its danger. If the anvil is not destroyed, you condemn hundreds of living souls to continue in agony for another 1,000 years.
So there was a secret ingredient. Dwarves. Just like my famous campfire hot dogs.
It was an option I could offer warriors who would volunteer to defend their homeland.
No! The Anvil is mine! No one will take it from me!
Shale, you fought to destroy the anvil once. Do not allow it to fall into unthinking hands again!
Well, things were definitely starting to heat up around here. But in all seriousness, I was going to use the anvil to enslave a desecrated dwarven army into brainless golems for whatever purpose I wanted.
No! I cannot allow you to do this. To me, golems! Defend the anvil, whatever the cost!
I cannot be party to this. Fereldan, I am yours to command.
And of course, the golem I already had, and had forgotten about to be honest, turned against me. And so I started with my golem, stabbing her rocks with a sword somehow being incredibly effective. With the power invested within me of rage, terror, and harmful thoughts, I ended the forger's life here and now, relinquishing the anvil to whoever wanted to create a dead dwarven-filled golem army to do my bidding.
Perhaps I could use it now. A reward for defeating Fereldan.
I immediately offered up my new dwarven companion for golem fuel, but...
Believe me, I appreciate the thought. but it will take me a while to master all the techniques without Caridin's example.
Even though that didn't work out, Branka got to work on something even better. Not weaponry or companions, no. Rather a tool that I could abuse to forge the political path of this dwarven dump of a city, bringing it down to its knees.
An ugly lump of hot metal to go over a couple of empty heads.
A helmet that I could give to whichever party I deemed would best fit my agenda. I then reminded her that she better keep her end of the deal.
Once Orzammar settles on its petty king, have him send for me. When next you lead your armies against the archdemon, they will be shielded by a tide of steel men.
And with that out of the way, I headed back up to the dwarven city just to throw the entire place into political chaos.
Lords of the Assembly, I call for order. This argument gets us nowhere.
Your father made me swear on his deathbed you would not succeed him.
I apologize for the interruption, Lord Steward, but the Grey Warden has returned.
And just in time for the debate.
We should let the Warden speak.
And you better listen up!
Branka still lives. Finally found the anvil of the void.
And we are supposed to trust this? The word of a drunken sot and a Grey Warden known to be in Harrowmont's pocket?
Silence! Then tell us, Grey Warden, which king did Paragon Branka endorse?
That decision, you puppet, is up to me.
The Grey Warden knows nothing about us. This is ridiculous.
We've argued in these chambers for too long. The will of the Paragon is that the Grey Warden decide.
And I chose that one guy.
I appreciate your forthrightness, Warden. You have acted with grace through this entire torturous process.
With that, I had doomed the entire dwarven people to a life of solitude away from any future advancement. Their society would surely fall behind and be swept away like ashes from a forest fire no one witnessed.
I will not abide by this!
The ancestors have spoken.
Go rot in a hole, you hoser.
Would you let a surfacer decide the fate of the dwarves?
Watch out! They brought weapons!
And this is exactly what I was hoping for. Not only did I get to appoint a leader into power that would traditionally destroy the dwarves, I got to murder the other party leader. It was the perfect election.
Not think even Balin would defy the word of a paragon.
I'm glad he did.
Nor that so many would follow him. But most of Orzammar has seen him for what he really is.
Well, as long as this doesn't interfere with my plans, do what you want.
More than for my crown, I thank you for aiding Branka's recovery of our greatest treasure.
Also, make a statue in my honor, and be quick!
I'll talk to a sculptor, see what we can do.
And with that, we left to tie up any loose ends. And let me tell you, this place was gonna fall to pieces. I started by going to help that one guy get a chantry started, which would completely go against tradition, meaning Harrowmont would lose his mind.
That is an odd request, especially for one so new to our city.
I also got to threaten human conversion onto them.
While I do not appreciate your tone, I have considered that point. Perhaps we will allow Brother Burkle his prayer meeting, as a show of diplomatic good faith.
I ran back to tell the guy that his dream of becoming a religious zealot against dwarven tradition would become a reality.
Oh, praise the Maker! You truly walk in the light, friend. Please, come to our first service.
Yeah, not doing that. On my way out of this trash heap, I bumped into some random lady.
My son Ruck is missing in the deep roads. You seemed sympathetic.
Oh, wait a minute. What would you give me for his return?
You're asking what I would pay for your services? I have little money since my husband died.
Not good enough, so I told her that her son was a dung-eating lunatic.
Crazy. Oh, ancestors, save him. Is that what happened to my boy? Why didn't you bring him home?
I then gaslit her into believing that he was still alive in the deep roads.
I have to go to him. He needs me. Oh, he must be so frightened out there, so lonely.
That's right, and he needs your help down there. So with that, I had sent a grieving mother running into one of the most dangerous places in the land after her son that I slaughtered. And now I was ready to leave, satisfied I had done everything on my bucket list. I finally had a chance to kick back and relax at the campsite for a moment, but also harass the new guy.
Come to talk to old Ogren, have you?
Yeah, not if you're gonna act like a depressed child.
Aren't you the paragon of sodding friendship? Just leave me alone, Warden.
Nah, I don't think I will. So I chucked soap at him, which somehow knocked him out. Drunk, too.
You there. Aye, you. Where can I get some sauce for that rump roast?
Well, things were definitely ramping up around here.
That's right. You've wiped your foot on the Ogren doormat of love.
So there's only one last thing I could do. I bought every last rotten onion from the dwarven vendors and proceeded to force feed them to the dwarf while he was unconscious. And it worked perfectly.
That's it. I've had it. If saving the surface means working for someone like you, I say let the sodding world burn.
If you're a pansy, just say it.
You've a real mouth on you, huh? Lift your weapon, Warden, and pray for a painless death.
And just like that, I gave myself permission to brutally injure this pathetic, drunk, rotten, onion-filled casual.
No, I'm done.
And he honestly thought we could just be done. And this time, there would be no next time. With that done, I gathered up what little left I had of the gang and left for Redcliffe. All of the Redcliftonians were already there, and ready to go to war, I assumed at least.
I understand you've acquired all the allies you could. That's good. We can call the Landsmeet if you are ready. I would prefer not giving Loghain time to consider, but it is up to you. I do not wish to go to Denerim unless you are with me.
And with all these royal scumbags in my pocket, we headed for Denerim.
Excellent. I shall make the arrangements.
And there he was, Uncle King.
His house soon.
I immediately told him I would out him as a sissy.
You should curb your tongue.
Then I found my elvish family's murderer.
When the animals turn against their masters, it is sometimes necessary to cull the herd.
Without hesitation, I threatened to slit this guy's throat.
You are either very bold or very stupid to threaten the Ten before witnesses.
You divide our nation and weaken our efforts against the Blight, with your selfish ambitions to the throne.
Alistair will be the one to lead us to victory in this Blight.
Oh, is that all I have to do?
And with that, Uncle King and his lackeys, the equivalent of his toilet paper trail, awkwardly walked off.
Well, that was bracing.
There wasn't much for me to do around the castle, at least yet, so I decided to go and meet up and get this thing started.
Ah, Warden. I trust you've made yourself comfortable.
My queen suspects she cannot trust her father. And Loghain, he is very subtle, no? Her life is in danger. I heard how say she would be a greater ally dead than alive. Rescue my queen, and I promise she will reveal all.
And I was sent on another pointless fetch quest, having to rescue the queen. This thing needed to end tonight, so I headed straight to the Earl's estate where she was probably being held, only to be stopped by none other than...
the mighty Grey Warden at long last. The crows send their greetings once again. Severin was a friend of mine. I shall enjoy making you pay for his death.
Some random guard I'd never met before in my life. So naturally, I slaughtered him and all of his men because they weren't in any way essential to my story. We finally arrived at the estate, where panic was spreading amongst the locals. However, this elvish slave knew a secret way in.
The servants' entrance is on the other side of the house. We must slip past this crowd to reach it.
Of course, discretion was of the utmost importance, but Eggstor just had to clap around in his armor so all the guards heard and came swinging. After we put them out of the misery that was their existence, I was informed I needed to be absolutely discreet.
It can distract the guards, but you must move quickly.
I asked why I couldn't just kill them.
If they find these two missing, they will know something is amiss.
Ah, fair enough. More people to kill. So I opened fire on the guards without batting an eye and separated them from the living.
So much for subtlety.
Ah, it's fine. We had finally made our way inside.
We must hurry. There will be little time before the patrol finds what you have done. You are certain you will not wear the disguise?
No, I told you, I'm just gonna kill everyone always.
They are little threat to you, no?
Shut up, I'm sure.
Andras, they guide us.
And just like that, I charged in and began massacring everyone in sight, no matter who it was. They now stood between me and rescuing someone I could manipulate into doing my will. And that is all that truly matters in life. After obliterating the guards from those hallways, we made it to the Queen's captivity chamber, surrounded by some kind of wall of psychic energy.
The Grey Warden is here, my lady.
Thank the Maker. Find the mage who cast the spell.
Well, if this particular mage happened to die, it would probably open the door. That mage was gonna be savagely dismembered within moments of... Whoa, dude, what?
Look, you didn't say nothing.
What's going on in here? What? Who are you?
Who are you? You're not on my watch.
Well, it didn't matter. We killed them all the same. We came across the dungeon with a guard so incapable the prisoner behind him literally just assassinated him. It was awesome.
Alistair? Is that you?
Who? Wait, he's one of us.
Not another Grey Warden.
I'm Riordan, Senior Warden of Jada.
Well, the guy clearly didn't matter much, so he took off. And so did we, and stumbled into the Arl's personal torture chamber, where we put down the torturers and found a guy still alive on a torture table.
Get me out of here! That's an order!
So we just left him there and moved on, waltzing straight into...
Well,
Wizard Man.
The Grey Warden. I must say I'm surprised Eamon would condone you invading my castle and murdering my men.
Shut your mouth and die, mage!
You should have left when you had the chance, Warden. Slunk off to the Anderfells to hide with the rest of your kind. This Landsmeet is a farce. Loghain will triumph, and you will die.
I don't even know why I gave him that time to monologue, but regardless, I finally got my opportunity to put down this magic-swishing dog, and no one could stop me. After absolutely shredding his inferior other mages to pieces, I focused all my energy power into making sure his death was drawn out and painful.
Still alive.
And in his last moments, he looked up at me, straight into my eyes, beating into his soul, and said,
I deserved more.
Yeah, more of a thrashing, you old geezer. With that moron dead, the spell over the door was broken, and we made haste back to the Queen to bask in her radiance, who was...
My thanks.
Missing her face. Oh well, that's rich people for you.
Thank you. I'll trust you to lead us safely out.
We had but moments to escape before the entrance guards would rain down on us, and well, that's exactly what happened.
Warden, in the name of the Regent, I am placing you under arrest for the murder of Rendon Howe and his men-at-arms. Surrender, and you may be shown mercy.
Nah, you're all gonna die before that happens.
Bring them down! Loghain wants the Warden, dead or alive.
However, somehow things felt different about this fight. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But their weapons, they were poisoned with NyQuil. Egads! I had passed out within seconds. And as I came back to, I awoke to the smell of flames and mutilated corpses. Was I in heaven? No! I was back in Azkaban again! And when I thought things couldn't get any worse...
Oh, you're awake.
Oh,
I was starting
you're
to worry.
here.
It's not the Royal Palace dungeon, I think. Too orderly.
It doesn't matter, we're still getting out.
I hope you have a plan.
I began to fake an illness to get the guards' attention.
Help! Someone, help us! My friend is dying.
And right as the guards stepped into my trap...
What's the matter with you?
We, and by we I meant I because this idiot didn't do anything, beat the guard to death with my fists. After looting them up, I ran to the nearest chest where they conveniently placed all of my possessions. Right there, right in the open. I slapped on everything I needed and proceeded to execute every last prison guard in this dungeon. By the time we were done with all this nonsense, there would not be a single guard left to fight the Darkspawn invasion for me. But these weaklings needed to be culled. We rushed back to the castle to inform everyone of our great success.
Maker's breath. It's good to see you in one piece, my friend.
Indeed.
It was good to see the Queen was going strong and hadn't lost her head.
Very little. We will need to work together.
I needed to politically sabotage humanity into the dirt, and she was my ticket.
I cannot help thinking she may be trouble, but we should keep her close, all the same.
With that in mind, I went to talk to her. I burst into her private chambers and demanded an audience.
Hello again, Warden.
She believed she was more capable to rule than Ailstork.
Do you disagree? What do you think of Alistair's potential to rule? Never mind his willingness.
And so I agreed.
Alistair's weakness would destroy everything Merrick built.
And then I disagreed.
I simply believe that I am what this country needs. Is this something Alistair even desires?
Then I threw Eggslayer under the bus.
And by extension, neither is what I want.
Then I told her plan would fail.
Consider it forgotten.
And then I supported her plan.
That is good to hear.
That ought to throw her off a bit. There was no time to waste. This needed to get done, and now. So I took the scenic route through the Elven alienage where I grew up, just for old time's sake. Now, as usual in this place, there was a bunch of hubbubaloo going down.
Everyone remain calm.
Oh, you're helping us, are you, Shem? Like Valendrian and my uncle Syrian, you helped them, didn't you?
More whining will not persuade us to let you into the quarantine to carry plague back out to the alienage.
Why are half the people they quarantine perfectly healthy?
I walked up to a random stranger and asked what was going on.
I don't believe it.
What?
Cousin, you have no idea that...
Cousin?
The things that happened after your wedding... I'm babbling, aren't I?
Ma'am, I have no idea who you are. Just tell me what's going on.
The Tevinters quarantined your father yesterday. Not one elf they've taken in there has come out again. Who knows what's become of them?
Well then, I'm gonna go in there and make them become of them.
I knew you'd do something, cousin.
With that said, I tried to break my way inside, but...
Go no further.
I tried to be reasonable, but they just continued to spew their lies.
Yes, and before you ask, no, you cannot go in to see the sick.
Put up your dukes, you peasants!
To arms! Protect the hospice!
I could already tell it was gonna be one of those adventures, so as we butchered the guards at the gate and walked through the door, I wasn't even surprised to find myself murdering everyone else in the building. As we made our way through, we stumbled upon a storage room filled with elves in cages.
Help us, please! We're not sick! Let us out of here!
But I didn't see them offering me any money, so I just left.
No, please! Let us out first! Come back!
As we made our way further into the area, it was very clear that there was no sickness. These people were enslaving my people.
There's no way I'm going near mages.
Without me. Well, there was no mercy gonna be shown now, that's for sure. No one was walking out of here alive. Walking through this area was easy. I was gonna carve a path straight to whoever was running this show. And then I came across her.
What is the meaning of this? We were told that there would be no interference from the authorities.
An elf who believed that she was better than me? Superior?
No. You look like an elf with more curiosity than sense.
So I told her I couldn't care less.
Indeed. I'm intrigued enough to wonder what brought you here, if not to exact righteous retribution.
You incompetent dunce!
I intend to see you pay for the damage you've done.
Well, that only pissed them all off, and let me tell you, those fellas were up in arms. This was a small room filled to the brim with both archers and swordsmen alike, all trying to get a piece of this pie. And what started as a regular day overthrowing the government had turned into quite the event. Luckily, even though Ale Swamp died again on purpose, I carved this place up like a Thanksgiving turkey, and that elf would never threaten my hierarchy ever again. With that out of the way, we had arrived at the base of operations.
I am Caladrius, and you, I assume, must be the Grey Warden I've heard so much about.
Get to the point already.
What I want is for my business here to be concluded smoothly.
All right, I'm listening.
Here is my offer. 100 sovereigns from you for a letter with the seal of the Terran of Gwaren upon it, implicating him in all of this.
'Tis a reasonable enough starting offer.
I feel dirty. We're not considering this, are we?
So, do we have a deal?
100 sovereigns? You've got yourself a partner.
Very good, then. Here's the letter, signed and sealed and everything. Come then, man. Collect the slaves and the chests.
And just like that, I had sold my family into slavery. On my way out of this absolute dump, I bumped into this random lady again.
Are you alright? What was in there? Where is everyone?
I told her there were a couple people still in there.
How is that possible? They've taken dozens of us into quarantine.
Then I gave her a note letting her know that everyone she loved was being shipped off.
What does this even mean? They can't be shipping people, can they?
Yeah, so crazy. Whoa, can't believe it.
They could be moving through the back alleys. Warehouse? Staging area?
I have no idea. It's a stumper, all right.
If you find any more information...
And so I left her in the dark, to always wonder what became of her family, but never to truly know. As for me, I went back to continue my political career. I immediately went back to that guy whose son I killed to let him know what's going on.
Ah, there you are. I've been hearing of a great commotion in the alienage. What exactly happened there?
Yeah, so it appears that King Uncle is involved in slavery. Just him, exclusive rights and everything.
Make her forgive me. I should be appalled that such a thing could exist here. But I'm overjoyed you can implicate Loghain. What the Blight does not corrupt in this land, politics surely will. I will call for the Landsmeet to convene. Bring Alistair and join me at the palace as soon as you are ready, Warden.
What a day this had been. Marching all across the city, slaughtering everyone in sight, selling elves into slavery, and now I was heading to some grand debate to kick Uncle King out of power. But of course...
Warden, I am not surprised it has come to this. You have torn Fereldan apart to oppose the very man who ensured you were born into freedom. But do not think you will get past me to desecrate the Landsmeet itself, and we can finally put this to rest once you are gone.
Excuse me, ma'am, but I'm gonna have to ask you to keel over and die as soon as possible.
I can end the threat you pose to Fereldan. To arms, men!
Well, she didn't take too kindly to me threatening to kill her, so I just decided to kill her. It was quite remarkable, truly. The soundproofing of this room, because there was a silent debate going on right through that door, yet no one even bothered to come in here and tell us to shush. Honestly, that is a testament to how far soundproofing has really come. Well, they were all dead, and it was time for me to make my grand entrance to the royal whatever this room was.
My lords and ladies of the Landsmeet, Tyrn Loghain would have us give up our freedoms, our traditions, out of fear. Must we sacrifice everything good about our nation to save it?
The people seemed rather impressed by King Deadson's compelling arguments.
A fine performance.
And that's exactly when King Uncle decided to show up.
But no one here is taken in by it. Ah! Here we have the puppeteer.
Excuse me, is anyone the owner of that lady-lying den in the entrance?
Tell us, Warden. How will the Orlesians take our nation from us? How much Fereldan blood does Orlesian gold buy these days?
All of it. Yes, all of it is good.
There are enough refugees in Mybanor now to make that abundantly clear.
The south is fallen, Loghain.
The Blight is indeed real, Wolf. But do we need Grey Wardens to fight it? Yet they failed spectacularly against the Darkspawn at Ostagar.
You literally sold my family into slavery, just you!
There is no slavery in Fereldan. Explain yourself. There is no saving the alienage. There is no chance of holding it if the Blight comes here. Despite what you may think, Warden, I have done my duty. I have done what was needed for the good of Fereldan. I do, however, very much want to know what you've done with my daughter. Does she even still live?
I believe I can speak for myself.
Oh, come on. She was headless when I found her.
Lords and ladies of Fereldan, hear me. I would have already been killed, if not for this Grey Warden.
Uncle King is a liar and not to be trusted.
So, the Warden's influence has poisoned even your mind, Enora.
Our land has been threatened before! We must not let ourselves be divided now!
Southreach stands with the Grey Wardens.
Yeah!
Dragon's Peak supports the Warden!
Yeah!
The Western Hills throw their lot in with the Wardens.
Yeah!
Make her help us.
I stand by Loghain.
Hey, shut up! You lose!
Traitors! None of you deserve a say in what happens here. None of you have spilled blood for this land the way I have. How dare you judge me?
Finally, we were at the point in the political debate where all the candidates killed each other to maintain dominance. And man, it was crazy. Everyone was going nuts. All the guards were freaking out like, Nug, why would you do this? Everyone is dying and there's blood everywhere. That was my brother you just stabbed through the heart, you silly. And with that in mind, I bested Uncle King.
In the Maker's name, stop!
What a killjoy!
Let there be no further bloodshed in the Landsmeet.
Alistair's claim is challenged. Such claims were settled by duels. Alistair against Loghain. Will the Landsmeet agree?
Yes, but it must be fought according to tradition. By strength of arms only, in single combat until one party yields. Do you accept the terms?
Oh, that sounded like fun. I would fight in the place of anal stairs.
It is you or me the men will follow. Prepare yourself.
And there I was, waiting all my life for this exact moment to happen. The day I got to publicly execute a king for all gazing upon my blood-splattered clothing. He drew his sword first, like a coward. With that, I lunged in. I started by rubbing some dirt in his eyes, and then proceeded to flank behind him and slash his spinal cord like I was strumming a guitar. Although he could shout quite loudly and swing around his sword like a child with a tree branch, I decided enough was enough, and put his sorry hide in its place.
I underestimated you, Warden. I thought you were like Kalen, a child wanting to play at war. I was wrong. There's a strength in you that I have not seen anywhere since Marek died.
Yeah, because Marek was a nerd.
I yield.
And for a hilarious prank, I accepted his surrender.
I didn't just hear you say that. You're going to let him live? After everything he's done? Kill him already!
Wait, there is another option. The Tyrn is a warrior and general of renown. Let him be of use. Let him go through the joining.
Become a warden, hey?
There are 3 of us in all of Fereldan, and there are compelling reasons to have as many wardens on hand as possible to deal with the Archdemon.
If he survives, you gain a general. If not, you have your revenge. Doesn't that satisfy you?
Absolutely not. Riordan, this man abandoned our brothers and then blamed us for the deed. He hunted us down like animals. He tortured you. How can we simply forget that?
I think he's got a point. Let's make him a warden. Stop being such a baby.
Joining the Wardens is an honor, not a punishment. I will not stand next to him as a brother. I won't.
So that's it, huh? It's either you or him?
He's being childish. How many generals do you think Fereldan has? We can't afford to lose any of them to Alistair's tantrums if we want to survive the Blight.
I didn't want to be king. I still don't. But if that's what it takes to see Loghain get justice, then I'll do it.
Can you see how disastrous a king he'd be? Putting his own selfish desires above the needs of his country?
Aelsphincter ruins everything.
You're siding with her?
Why are you so angry, Egg Slicer? You're so mad right now. Calm down. Stop freaking out.
He's repeatedly tried to kill us both. And you side with him over me?
Come on, stop being so hysterical, Oil Sitter.
I'm not. I'm perfectly lucid. I'm leaving.
I'm afraid it's not so simple as that, Alistair.
You already got what you wanted. Your murdering father gets a place amongst the Grey Wardens. What else could you want from me?
Your life, unfortunately. So long as you live, rebellions can be raised in your name. Our land cannot endure another civil war. I must call for your execution.
After all this time, it was finally happening.
Did someone replace my fellow Grey Warden with a pit viper when I wasn't looking? What happened to you? Can you hear yourself? I'm going to be thrown on the pyre along with Duncan and all the others, am I? Nothing I did counts for anything?
Come on, Ape Sweater. Be a man for once.
Guards, take him away, please.
Later, Alistair Gator.
And now, lords and ladies of Fereldan. There is still a Blight to defeat and armies to gather, and I appoint this woman to lead us in both. On the morrow, we shall begin our struggle against the greatest threat Fereldan has ever faced. And we shall triumph over it, for we are Fereldan.
That's right. Clap for me, you peasants. I will enslave all of you. Very soon afterwards, we forced Uncle King to drink from the Darkspawn blood, and to his fortune and Alistair's misfortune, he passed the test.
So it's done. My father lives, and for good or ill, he is now a Grey Warden. Thank you for—
Quit your blubbering. Let's just get on with it.
You have united Fereldan, Warden. Now we face the Blight.
After all that I had been through, the time for war was finally upon me, and I couldn't have been more excited. Of course, when his little pity party was over, we discovered that the only way to kill an Archdemon was to die ourselves.
The Grey Warden that kills the Archdemon perishes.
So I said, screw that!
I will make that blow then, if you cannot.
However, I did have one last insignificant loose end to deal with.
Do not be alarmed. It is only I. I know a Grey Warden must be sacrificed, and that sacrifice could be you. I have come to tell you that this does not need to be.
I told her I wasn't gonna die so that everyone else could live.
And can you guarantee that another will survive the battle that is to come? I offer another alternative.
I also told her I wasn't gonna use her stupid magic for anything.
What if you find yourself facing the dreaded Archdemon alone come the battle? All I ask is that you listen to what I have to offer. Nothing more.
And then I said I should have killed her ages ago.
Is that so? Now you'll never have that chance. Fare you well, Grey Warden. Should you live past the morrow, seek me out at your own peril.
She threw a big tantrum, probably because she's an obnoxious, self-centered magic-using simpleton, and then ran off and became a weird-looking cat. But who cared? It was time to sentence all the humans to war, and the absolute pettiest ones of the lot. The overly emotional werewolf army departed to aid me, even though they could hardly help themselves. And the dwarves, don't even get me started on those guys. I didn't even know if they were gonna show up. Oh, and I guess the Templars were there too. And we gathered in front of the might of the Turtle Terrors, as though a union staging a corporate-wide rally for higher wages. And the Queen finally grew a face.
Before us stands the might of the Darkspawn Horde. Gaze upon them now, but fear them not. The woman you see beside me is an elf, raised to the ranks of the Grey Wardens, and never a more glorious Grey Warden has there been. She has survived despite the odds, And without her, none of us would be here. Today, we show the Grey Wardens that we remember and honor their sacrifice. For Fereldan! For the Grey Wardens!
My expendable force of husbands and sons charged into the Darkspawn, where I had ensured their safety was entirely compromised from the start. And here was the beginning of the end of all the land. Uncle King and I began cutting down the turtles like seagulls finding their spawn. They believed the ocean was there, but not a one would make it. We met up with Prison Guy, who made us realize that we had to do something quite difficult.
You've managed to fight your way to the gates.
You want to draw the dragon's attention, I take it.
We have little choice. Who do you wish to take with you into the city?
Huh. I wonder who I should take.
Let's get this over with then. There is little time to waste.
The men cheered for me charging into the depths of Denerim, but what they didn't know is I was actually reveling in the destruction of the city and its people. We fought through the streets, and just as the game started offering some enemy variety, we introduced our own, and my army of murdered dwarven golem slaves had arrived, and we pulverized our way through. As we charged deeper into the city, Prison Guy decided that he would just pull the classic, jump on a dragon that's flying at Mach 10 and stab it so brutally that it panics, and then you realize that you have no way off, so you just end up dropping like 500 feet to your concrete-filled death. And he executed it perfectly, a 10 out of 10. Well, just like 90% of Tinder, we made our way to the streets and slaughtered our way through absolute droves of turtles, breaking through their lines and making sure that each ogre was properly assassinated because it looked way cooler doing it that way. Before long, we had made our way to the main gates, and I realized the fact that dolphins actually sleep with their eyes open, as they can turn off half their brain and only close one eye to be partly asleep for self-defense reasons. Well, we had made it to the real hero of this game, that one dwarf guy's son who managed to cut down an entire battalion of turtles all by himself. And so I forced him to enchant a bunch of my gear.
Enchantment!
And after Uncle King died here, on purpose, we had finally arrived at the peak of the castle. We ran with haste, not wanting anyone to take the kill of the dragon away from me. It was mine. Which, well, ended up in quite the opposite, as the dragon was now taking all of my kills, absolutely no regard for what I wanted. It was disgusting. Well, this thing had to go now. Forget the people. This was personal. We blasted away at it using these incredibly easy to maneuver ballistas until it kind of freaked out and landed in the perfect area for us to slash at his ankles. My Golem army also showed up to give their pathetic lives in sacrifice for my selfish goals. We continued the pattern of shooting the behemoth with the ballistas, killing Darkspawn, and then usually just stood around not really even trying, until Uncle King died again on purpose! Well, no matter. This wasn't about him at all. He was only here because I knew it'd make Alistair punch the air. And after what felt like minutes of fighting the Archdemon, I remembered my roast back home and it was gonna start burning, so this needed to get wrapped up. I leapt onto the dragon's face like a mosquito at the beach, stabbing right into its eyeballs, but not lethally. Then I was flung 100,000 feet in the air, landing back on it non-lethally, stabbing it right in the neck, followed by plunging my sword directly into its brain, but in the non-lethal way.
It is done. You said before that you did not wish to take the final blow, so allow me.
Yeah, go for it, champ. All yours.
Good. I was hoping that there would be no argument. You have defeated the Blight before it could truly begin. My only regret is that my foolishness almost prevented you from doing so.
What an expendable fool. He was right. Well, this was it. All this time we had fought, slaughtered, murdered, stolen from, taken advantage of, but mostly murdered our way across Fereldan. Uncle King was the only one left to sacrifice. And why, you might ask, did I allow him to take my kill? Well, inquisitive mind, because it left an archdemon-sized void in my soul. A missed opportunity leaving me so unsatisfied that my work on this desolate, self-righteous land would never be over. How could I ever fill that void? I couldn't. And because of that, everyone would suffer. Oh yeah, and Uncle King died here or whatever. I wasn't really paying attention.
And then it was over.
That's what they think.
With the archdemon dead, the Darkspawn horde quickly crumbled. Most fled back into the deep roads. They would remain a threat in the years to come, and the entire kingdom rose up to joyously greet its queen.
My friends, we are gathered to celebrate those responsible for our victory. My father Logain, the man who led Fereldan to freedom at the Riverdane, gave his life for us and earned his redemption by slaying the Archdemon.
Huh. I wonder where everyone is.
But the one who led the battle against the Darkspawn, thankfully, remains with us still. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the hero of Fereldan. The first Grey Warden to defeat the Blight since Garahel 4 centuries ago.
How was that one guy making that much noise?
Grey Warden.
What?
It is hard to imagine how you could have aided Fereldan more. Is there any boon you might request of Fereldan's queen?
Nah, you humans have done enough.
Truly? Will you remain with the Grey Warden?
Stop badgering me, you wench.
Well, I hope you'll stay here at court while you decide. There is a group of eager Fereldan citizens waiting outside to get a look at their hero. I suggest you make at least a brief appearance before they storm the gate.
Well, it appeared that everything had pretty much gone according to plan. The room was quiet. Hardly anyone lived long enough to make it to my celebration.
Are you ready, my lady? The crowds outside are getting restless.
Oh, trust me. I'll show them restless.
I'll take you there now. Follow me.
In the end of it all, Uncle King's horrible actions were forgotten, and he was hailed as a hero. Ailstork, on the other hand, was viewed as the villain. Hilariously enough, the Chantry found the sacred ashes, and people sought to use its healing powers. Bunch of idiots. After I made everyone hate the mages because of what happened at the Circle, a new Templar commander rose up and ruled over them with fear. The elves were ruled with an iron fist, and things only got worse for them. Redcliffe was destroyed, haunted, and hardly anyone still lived at the castle. Not only that, the queen whose son I killed died in childbirth, and the kid showed magical abilities, so she was shipped off to the Circle. People respected the werewolves, that is, until they started spreading their curse to them, forcing them to be slaughtered. As for the dwarves, well, my plan to spiral them into their own destruction was working, and they were cut off from the rest of the world. The slums were all but reduced to ashes, and as for the Chantry, the super traditional radicalism saw an end to that, slaughtering the dude I helped get it going, and causing riots, not to mention the possibility of surface dwellers getting involved with the crusade. Bronca was first hired to create golems to destroy the political opposition for Harrowmont, but when that was over, she got cut off. So she went absolutely mad with power and started kidnapping people to use. The witch wench ran around like a coward or something, I don't know, she's so dramatic. As for me, well, all my companions were gone. Don't listen to that fake news government propaganda that somehow said they were still alive. However, the turtles still roamed the world, preying on what few people I had allowed let live. And I would abandon them. They did not deserve mercy.